Hey guys, J Man here. All right, we're back, and this is another episode of The Amazing Fans, and we're going to be talking to Sean. Everybody knows who Sean is. It's just going to be me and him today, talking about who are we going to be talking about? I don't know. Who could we be talking about? It's going to be Superman, of course, and it's going to be all things Superman. And we're going to be we're going to talk about our love for the character, and we're going to be a bit more positive. It's not going to be the danger room. We're not going to be getting angry at people and fighting back and all that stuff. We're just going to be talking about Superman. We're going to show you a lot of cool stuff that Sean and I have gotten over the years. Obviously, we can't show you every single thing that we've ever gotten because there is so many Superman things. It's unbelievable. We're going to show you some old photographs of Sean and I when we were little kids with our Superman toys and costumes and all that. I dug this black folder up, which is going to be revealed later. So there's a lot of stuff to go through for Superman. And yeah, so it's gonna be pretty fun. Joe Shuster, Jerry Siegel created what is, in my opinion, best superhero, obviously, but he's my favorite fictional character in any medium. It's just like when I first saw Superman, I just thought this was great. And I've never stopped loving it. Even when I don't like certain aspects of Superman, I still end up having some kind of fondness to it, even if it's like a Superman Returns or if it's even like a Henry Cavill or whatever. I always find something positive about Superman to love, even if I don't like the movie or the interpretation or whatever. There's always something. Even the weakest comics, I still think, okay, you know what? It was kind of cool because Superman was in there. So yeah, it's going to be a Superman love fest here for as long as we can go. All right, let's bring in Sean. How's it going, dude?
What's up? How's it
Hey,
going?
all right. So I mean, like, geez, like
You can't see it, but
yeah, you've got your Superman. Yeah, everyone's got a shirt. I used to have at least one per week or one per day. I could have
oh,
worn a
yeah,
Superman shirt a day easily.
yeah.
Uh, I only have two now that fit me relatively okay.
Mhm.
So this one and the Christopher Reeve style looking one. I'd like to get a few more. I wouldn't mind getting a hoodie that's black with the silver
Oh yeah,
S. I
yeah,
think that might be good for just like outdoor wear because I like to if you're going out, it's like I usually mostly wear mostly all black unless it's like a shirt. Like I don't wear this one out just because actually I'm really fond of this shirt and I don't want to get it ruined.
yeah,
So I don't use this one because this is like I really like this idea of having the cape but having it in the front.
yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
I don't know. I like if you look. You got to have the yellow on the cape. This S has to be on the back of the cape. Do you agree
Yeah.
with that? Yeah.
When it was
Okay.
like black, it was kind of off-putting, and they incorporated that into the movies, like the animated movies.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
black on the cape. I was like, sure,
Yeah.
but
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, there's so much to cover. Let's just go with like, how did you get into Superman?
Well, I mean, we're born into it, so I was born into it. Superman, the movie came out in 1978, so I was born a year before that. And the thing is that like back then, Superman was ubiquitous. It's like the cartoons were on TV, and I was too young to distinguish between the '66 Superman series versus the Super Friends series, where Superman was basically the star of that show. And also Superboy, which was in the Superman '66 series. So I watched all that stuff. Weirdly enough, I never really watched the '50s series because I don't think that was really syndicated where we were. I caught that when I was like 10 or 11. But I grew up with Superman being the definitive superhero, and I received comics like old Action Comics and stuff that I just looked at the pictures at and stuff. I used to think that Superman and Adam were tight because Adam was always a backup story in those comics, and then of course the movies were events. So Superman the movie was huge, and they had a two-part version on TV, like on ABC. And I remember watching that, and I remember where they cut it. It's like right when he flies up to rescue Lois Lane in a helicopter, and it's like freeze frames. And I'm like, oh, and then the next night they had the rest of it. Superman 2 was also a two-part big event as well. I saw Superman 2 in a theater when I was like maybe 3. So Superman was just, I was all about it. In '84, of course, I got the Superman superpowers figure, and later on I get I think it was Toy Biz or whatever got the license. So Superman was the definitive hero. I noticed the comics more when they rebooted it for pre-Crisis. Those stories, like there's some things I don't like about the John Byrne era, but those stories were very dynamic. That was the whole point, like reintroducing the character and the concepts, and like Lex Luthor is a different kind of villain. And I remember buying those. I was more of a Marvel kid, so to take notice and take more attention to those newer comics was a big deal. And then I was reading a lot of the pre-Crisis stuff, and I got really into like Carrie Bates stuff, like his wrap up of the whole Lexor storyline, where Lex Luthor has his own planet, and that's where the superpowers armor comes from. Is from that story. And also Terra Man. I hate and love Terra Man. I don't know why they shoved him down our throats like in the early 80s. Like, look, this great character. It's like he saw no one lists him in even the top 10 Superman villains, but he was in every story. So yeah, a lot of pre-Crisis stuff I got into. That whole wild world of weird stories they made for him before Crisis, like the whole Nightwing and Flamebird thing, where he's like a Batman character in Kandor. I love all that fun, wonderful stuff, and post-Crisis as well. And I've been reading Superman on and off ever since. So yeah. You're on mute.
Sorry, I got myself there. Yeah, so exactly. I mean, it was just part of who we were growing up. It's like Superman was just there, like, and like I remember, and we'll show pictures of this because we've got all the evidence. We've brought the evidence with us today just to prove it to you. So we had all these things as kids too, and you didn't. It wasn't like there wasn't you couldn't not get into Superman or Batman, and Wonder Woman. Those three for the DC, and then for the Marvel, it was the Lou Ferrigno Hulk. It was like Hulk. It was Spider-Man, Nicholas Hammond, to an extent, even the Reb Brown Captain Americas.
Yeah.
Anything live action to me was like, wow, those, and then those were my favorite characters. You'd watch Super Friends. You'd watch, what's it called? The Spider-Man, the 60s Spider-Man, right? So like, this is the kind of stuff that we just got pumped up for. And Superman, yeah, I mean, it was one of the first toys I had. I had a big stuffed toy of Superman and Spider-Man. And we had the Mego dolls. And I remember what was great about the Mego stuff was that all of the characters, like Mego basically had the rights to Marvel and DC.
Yeah. So
I would have Batman, Superman teaming up with Spider-Man, and you didn't think anything of it. You're just like, well, they're all heroes and they're all teaming up.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And I remember loving these parachute men. There's parachute men like this.
Yeah.
And I had Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and Hulk. And I remember when I had accidentally broke my Spider-Man and I lost it. And my grandfather's like, okay, we'll go buy another one. Not like today, where you see this figure, you can't just go buy Superman anymore. It's impossible. Like, you can't find toys anymore. It's like nobody can find them, which we can get into. But anyways, so we would go buy those Mego dolls, and I remember getting those. And even the small, they made the bigger dolls. There's like the big ones, the I guess, were they 12? Were they 10 or 12, the big ones?
12-inch.
12, and then you got the next size down, which was like 6 or 8. Okay,
yeah.
Let's say 6 to 8, depending on the guy.
Like Mego was 8.
Mego's 8. Okay. Then you had the small ones that had the rubber, like Batman had the rubber head and all that.
Rubber head, yeah, that was Mego as well.
That's Mego as well. That's
the
small one.
Heroes or whatever.
Right, and I had Robin, I had Hulk, and I actually have Hulk in the packaging.
Yeah.
But I have my childhood. There's my childhood Hulk. So it was like Hulk, Robin, Batman, Superman. I had Wonder Woman. I remember Wonder Woman. You could actually pull her shirt or whatever. It was so weird. I'm like, okay. And I remember loving these little Megos, and I had the Batmobile and all that. So superheroes came with the territory, and Superman was a very safe character. Like, my mom was young, so she didn't really know. It's not like she didn't really know. She's just like, oh, Superman. Everyone likes Superman. He's good. And then she would buy me stuff like that, and she'd buy me He-Man and stuff in 83 or 84 or whenever that 83, I guess. I don't know when the toys came out.
82.
82 is the toys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like So I would start getting the toys. But anyway, so all that was together. So Superman was just the best because
Mhm.
Superman was the one toy, and we'll look at it better later. But I
Oh,
got
that's
that in
cool.
the packaging,
Yeah.
right? But I had my childhood Superman, and you would fly around with him. And Superman was so cool because that toy could beat up every other toy.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, we'd mix toys, right?
Mhm.
Like I would have him fight like Godzilla. I had a Godzilla toy, so he could fight Godzilla, even though the scale was off. But
Yeah.
it was like because Superman was so powerful, he could go in space.
Yeah.
Right?
For whatever reason, so the superpowers like the DC figures and the Secret Wars,
Secret
like the
Wars.
Marvel figures, were the same scale for some reason, and they were not 3/4 inch, they were like 4 inch. It's as though like Kenner and like freaking who's and Mattel like got together and said like, let's make these superheroes forward so that every kid can play with across the universes. Like that was crazy.
Now, did you like Superpowers more, or did you like Secret Wars?
Superpowers.
I think Superpowers is like the best toy line ever.
Because the thing is, Secret Wars is awesome, but like Secret Wars was backed up by the comic, and the comic is awesome too, but didn't have a cartoon. Like they turned Super Friends into Superpowers for the last two seasons, but kids knew that Superpowers is basically the Super Friends toy line. It's like you didn't have to change Super Friends into Superpowers. Like we knew what it was. We're not stupid,
right?
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think too that like I think the figures there's just better.
They're more
composability and they look like they just look better. It's hard to see on this
themselves, like squeezing the legs for them to do stuff was cool. They also had a lot of stuff from the comics, the Hall of Justice from the cartoon, but they had a play set. They made every Batman vehicle you can think of. They made Darkseid and like a bunch of Fourth World characters, which is crazy. And also made vehicles for them. That's awesome. They made the Supermobile from the comics, but it didn't have the fist from the comics. It only had a battering ram. That's weird. The fist, you'd figure that's like ready-made for toys.
That's toyetic. That's the toyetic thing that the
like
Schumacher.
Corgi made like a small one that had the fist.
Yeah.
And for a long time, when I thought back to the Supermobile from Superpowers, I always thought it had the fist because why wouldn't it? But no, it just had a battering ram. And then they did a different colored one for Lex Luthor called the Lexor 7. But each guy had a vehicle. It was just a cooler toy line than Secret Wars. Yeah, I have a bunch of Secret Wars. I have more Secret Wars stuff than Superpowers because it's just cheaper to get. Like I have the Tower of Doom, and I have like the Good Guy playset. Can't remember what it's called, like the base, and I have a bunch of carton figures. But Superpowers just felt like the comics and cartoons leapt right off the screen and page, right?
Yeah, and I've got a lot of these in the packaging, like Firestorm, Red Tornado, Robin. I have two Darkseids, Brainiac, Calabac. Like I have a lot of them in the packaging.
But Superman was the star of that. And look, it has this color theme on the packaging.
I mean, this is crazy good.
Yeah,
and it's not punched either, so it's never been.
Holy crap, man!
Yeah, like this is like super. This is just so good.
Yeah,
and it's like you get, although the side of his arm is a little bit gray, it's a little bit.
Loose figures always have like the hair is like flesh colored sometimes, and
yeah. Hey Caleb, thanks for dropping by.
What's up?
We're not doing any hating today. Just love today. We're gonna try not to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think for me, and I brought out a bunch of stuff, and we can. Did you ever see this? Like,
who's he fighting there?
Hulk.
Oh, cool. Hulk versus Superman. When was that? That was the 90s one?
I have no idea. I was going through my Superman comics for ones to pull out, and I found this. I'm like, what is this?
I remember.
I don't even know what this is.
Superman fought Spider-Man and teamed up with him, and there were 2 Treasury editions where they did that.
Yes.
And there was a Hulk Batman one like that as well, which is classic stuff.
1999.
Yeah, that's when they were doing the big crossovers. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. See, like the art is like that really nice. It's like
Kirby Hulk. Yeah.
That's right. It's Kirby Hulk, and it's like very classic kind of Superman with the eyes closed. Remember
yes.
and even and Shazam had that with it's like
Yeah, he's like
eyes closed or whatever.
Patrick Warburton eyes. Yeah.
I don't know why that was a thing. I'm not sure why that I guess it's just,
Manly man face.
manly man face, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Superpowers cartoon, we loved it.
Yeah.
Or Super Friends, Superpowers, it's
Super
the
Friends,
same.
yeah.
Super
Yeah.
Friends is the same. What was the next cartoon? Was that Ruby Spears?
Ruby
was
Spears, the 1987 cartoon. I brought so much crap I can't even find where it is.
I can't. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not going to go through all the DVDs because
It's too much. I was going to bring more,
that
but
one.
yeah, here it is.
Yeah, that's Ruby Spears. Yeah.
I'll say this right off. Like, Batman the Animated Series changed everything.
Yeah.
And one of the things it changed was that it brought more elements from almost everything was from the comics, and pretty much except for Harley Quinn, every villain was from the comics, and they brought storylines from the comics, and it was the world of the comics. And for those who are younger, you might be shocked to learn that like cartoons and storylines, even Super Friends, wasn't exactly comic accurate in terms of like they fought villains from the comics in every episode. Super Friends, there are only 3 seasons where they do that. Challenges Super Friends and the last 2 Super Power seasons. Everything else is like a random mad scientist, random dragon from space or something, right? Superman Ruby Spears was made for the 50th anniversary. And I mean, Lex Luthor is in it. It's a post-crisis, first post-crisis on screen. So Lex Luthor is a corporate guy. Beyond that, like Wonder Woman turns up in something, but there's someone called Cybron or something, which is supposed to be Brainiac, and it's like one of those things where why don't you just do Brainiac? What is the problem? Like, why don't you just do his roster from the comics? Like, what is this? It's pre that, right? So I like it. It's I like that Toei animation feel to it. The Japanese animation it was sort of like a G.I. Joe-ish look. And I like the dynamic feel of it. They do use the John Williams theme a bit, then
a little bit
to their own theme. Yeah. I like all that stuff. It didn't last long. It lasted 1 season. Superman was falling out of favor at that point. It might be the same year as Superman 4. I'm not sure. But it's just before the attitude of let's do things from the comics for a change. This came out. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I like the cartoon. Pretty much up until a certain movie, I pretty much thought everything was cool. Like there wasn't ever anything that I'd seen of Superman where I was like, oh, this wasn't as good. I think Superman Returns was probably the first time I was a bit disappointed with a Superman product. Even the comics, you go back and forth 100 times, and I'm gonna pull these guys out here because this is, I hate Geek Studios. So we got these, the blue and the red Supermans and all that. And I mean, I was reading this. I thought it was. I mean, look, everybody knew it wasn't going to stick.
No, it's not going to last.
It's not going to last. So I thought it was cool. Like I thought, ooh, this is kind of interesting,
Yeah.
And it's like, and they made figures and everything. So that's kind of cool. I always thought they were okay. And I remember these Total Justice figures, and I got Aquaman. Yes. I actually had everybody, and I sold a lot
on them. You stick like armor and weapons on them or something,
which was really ill-conceived because like. Why does Superman require armor? And
well, we can get into that. Like, I think there is opportunity for that kind of thing, but
and even Hawkman had
the animated series, and it's like he needs like armor to handle like kryptonite and stuff like that.
Yep, he had different suits in that way. But even Hawkman had armor. I'm like, you already have the nth metal. Like, what more do you need?
You know what nth metal was? Yeah.
yeah. So, but if we go back further. Like I started reading Action Comics from number 1. I've got about 30. I only did about the first 30. And it's a bit of a different Superman than we're seeing now because he would do a lot of stuff where you're like, ooh. But again, Superman at that time is still pushing somewhat of the ideology of that time. And then even the Max Fleischer, I've got that too.
Yeah.
I have that.
But this Superman is like the tough guy Superman. And he like that's the thing. Like back then, it was more of a wish fulfillment thing. It's like two young guys is like, I hate when men beat their wives. So like Superman comes in and beats up a wife beater, right? You know, it's like, oh, these new cars, they're killing people. It's like vehicular slaughter is a new thing. Like, so Superman wages war on cars and like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny, but like all the things they didn't like there's that famous 2-page thing where Superman ends World War II. Is he just like gathers up everyone and brings them towards the World Tribunal and everything. It's like just every wish fulfillment thing. But he was more of a tough guy. He was tough on crime. He's still a nice dude, but he's more like the guy who can rely on to clean up the ills of the world. That's what he was. And honestly, I would argue he was that for a good 3 decades. That's sort of what was depicted in the 30s. In the 30s and 40s radio show and the 50s TV series. He's a tough man. He's not like godlike powers, but like more than anybody else, right? And he's tough on crime. Whenever there's a bad guy, he loves to punch on them and beat them up and stuff, right?
Yeah, so, he beats them up, and he'll destroy shit too. Like this guy's like the one he was like. There's like some guy doing something with his car. He's like, F this. He destroys the guy's car. He's like, how do you like them apples? And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, so maybe a certain director was taking some cues from that time. But I'm like, dude, that
far back, but yeah,
I know. But yeah, it was great. It's like, okay, this is like kind of a different Superman. I think for the comics, for me, it started to really, I'm going to be the generic guy who says Man of Steel. It's basically Man of Steel. I brought them out here to show everybody. Brought them out, and so I had paid $18 for the complete Steel.
Wow, I think I paid 10. Just recently because it's funny because I saw another set in the same comic shop for like 20, and I said, well, this one says 10. He's like, you know what, just okay.
You still give her 10? Yeah. So this is John Byrne, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I like John Byrne a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what am I going to tell you? I know that's a generic answer. Oh, John Byrne. But I like John Byrne for everything. It seems like I can't remember. I'm sure there's someone out there who can come up with examples. But I can't remember when I didn't like a John Byrne thing, whether he was like just drawing, like, let's say if he's drawing X-Men or something, or if he's doing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked all the John Byrne stuff, and I really liked these. And it started off really good, and that's when it started getting into you have to read every Superman comic and figure out where it goes.
Yeah.
And this is the post-crisis dilemma of Superman, where you collect Superman and you're not going to have money for anything else. And that's when, as kids, we start to count our money and be like, yeah, but I got to get this Spider-Man comic. And, this Hulk issue looks pretty good. So I ended up getting one of the Supermans, whichever one I thought
follow the stories.
Cool. But I could never follow the stories. And until New 52, that's how it was, where you couldn't follow anything.
My favorite shyster move in the 90s was they tried to release a Superman book every week of the year, right?
Yeah.
So they had Superman, Action Comics, Man of Steel, and is it Adventures of Superman?
Adventures of Superman.
Yeah. So 4. Now they needed a 5th comic to fill in those gaps where a month had 5 weeks. Right. So that was Superman, Man of Tomorrow. And it lasted like 6-7 years, but it was only like, 15 issues or something like that. But they didn't miss a trick. It's like, well, there are some months that have 5 weeks. So this is the 5th week one. And the thing was, the problem with all that was the stories would continue into each comic. So if you only collected Man of Steel, then you wouldn't know what the hell's going on, right? And they had the triangle. We've talked about this before.
We talked about this,
yeah. It's like each issue had an issue number, but then there was also a triangle number that told you consecutively where the story goes. So it's like this one is 12, and then the next one's 13. I don't know. That's the thing. Like Spider-Man, they were trying to do that too, but like I remember you could follow Amazing Spider-Man through things unless there was Maximum Carnage or something like that, right?
Right.
where it's like part like 2 of 14 or whatever, right? But Superman, yeah, it was hard to follow. I'm was Batman like that too? Because I was
I
mostly
believe so.
than Superman. So
I was getting Detective Comics as well,
mhm.
and I always liked for Superman. I always liked everything, but for Batman, for some reason, I always tended to go to Detective Comics versus the Batman title. I don't know why that is.
Mhm.
Even up to New 52, I would read some Batman,
Yeah,
um, and then some Detective, but then now I read everything. But like for the longest time, I didn't. But for Superman, I really tried. Like there was a few years where I really tried with those triangles. I ended up giving that entire. I had almost a whole long box, and I gave that to our mutual friend of ours who
yeah,
comes to Steve's games days sometimes, and because he loves Superman, I was like, you know what, here, and they're not worth a damn thing,
yeah,
but it's just if you want to have a cool little collection to start yourself off. I gave him the Supermans. I kept some of the the death of Superman and the rebirth and those kind of ones, but
yeah,
I tried my best when New 52 came around. I again from New 52 and on, I've not missed any Superman comics
yeah,
of the main titles.
yeah,
Prior to that, I was pretty good. I was pretty damn good. Like I think I kept Action Comics. Well, at the time I thought it was the last Action Comics. It was like $7.99 or I don't know what it
yeah,
was. Now it's up to 1,000. They went back to the numbering because
yeah.
they restarted Action with 52.
Right.
Uh, I mean, it was really tough to be a Superman fan. Like it's almost, and that's when I started to pull back and be like, well, I'll just collect Wonder Woman. And I was collecting Aquaman, Supergirl, like the Peter David stuff, Aquaman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman. And I left Superman for a bit. And then I came back and then I really tried to get
Yeah,
it all again.
it's
But
funny because like before the death of Superman, Superman was flagging in sales, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he revealed himself to Lois Lane and proposed to her before the death of Superman, right?
I would,
And then they
yes,
get
for sure.
married after the death of Superman, and that marriage coincided with the last season of
Lois and Clark.
Lois and Clark, yeah. But like Superman was like yeah, they were flagging sales, but Superman was huge, like white hot in the 90s. And I think it was because of Death of Superman, and then people just stuck with it
Yeah.
after that. But they were like, I remember they made trading cards specifically around that storyline, and then there was like a Superman just general trading card set. The first time I realized Superman was kind of falling out of favor with culture was the Superman action figure set. The don't mess with the S,
Don't
because
mess with
the
the
thing
S.
is
Oh,
that
that was
they
not
had
good.
these commercials with these kids walking around. It's like don't mess with the S, and the thing was it just looked, even to this kid, it looked really desperate and like pandering. It's like we're trying to make Superman cool. It's like you don't have to do that. And the figure set is weird, like the action figure line, because like there's different Supermans and all that. There I think there's a Billy Ray Cyrus one too, like the mullet. But the villains they picked were weird. It's like Conduit, like characters no one knows anymore. Genocide was another one. Like these '90s bullshit characters.
Right.
It was like they didn't have a Bizarro, for example, or Mixie's Pitlick, or like a Metallo. It was just all these like it's like what's cool with the kids, like what has like a badass name and all that,
Right.
and it just seemed way too desperate. And I was like, my problem with that, even when I was a kid, is like, why do you feel you have to do that? I think that's a problem, and that's from then on. I've noticed that's the problem ever since.
Yeah. I'm
But
trying to see
that
if I
was
can.
the first time I noticed it, was those "Don't Mess with the S" commercials. I was like, what is this? Like,
Yes.
why do you feel you have to do that? Yeah,
Yeah. And I was trying to find a few here. Oh, is this? I wonder if this is the first appearance. If Action Comics #9 of New 52 is the first appearance of Val Zod or whatever. Because if it is, then I have that.
yeah. It was a New 52 thing, no?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was just looking that up and I just happened to see this comic come up. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was looking for the toy line, but I can't seem to. I don't
yeah.
remember what it was called.
It's
But
Kenner.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, I remember thinking that was really weird, and I'm like, don't mess with the S. Why? Why are you trying to be weird like that?
yeah,
And yeah. So the cartoons were the big stuff, and then obviously the comics. The radio show, I never really. I don't know. where we could have found the radio show. You can find it now if you go to podcasts.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on podcast. I got this box set back in the day. It was
that's fantastic.
Smithsonian Institute. But yeah, the radio show. Look, I mean, people underestimate the radio show. The radio show is the first appearance of Kryptonite. So that's where the comics got it from. First appearance of Perry White and Jimmy Olsen. That's where the comics got them from. First team up with Batman twice before it happened in the comics.
Wow.
They did it first. And it's partly because they had to do something every damn day of the week for years. Like there's no reruns back then.
Right.
So they're coming up with all this stuff, and Bud Collyer, Superman has to go on vacation or something. He's like, guys, I can't do this all the time. So Kryptonite, they just came up with this, right?
They made up awesome. Kryptonite. Yeah. It's so.
The other thing too, it's like our pal Andrew was talking about this with Spider-Man on the 60 series.
Yeah.
The whole idea of like one person playing both roles and like having a high-pitched voice for like the regular person, and then digging deep down like for a deep voice for the superhero. Bud Collyer did that. I can be corrected if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's the first, because what they used to do with those alter ego things was have someone play the hero and have someone play the other guy, right? And Bud Collyer was like, well, I can do both if you want. And he would do that. It's like, I have to turn into Superman, and then he did, and that was and he did the voice in the 60s series as well. That show was huge. Like the radio show was massive. Everyone, kids and adults, listened to it. It was huge through the 40s. And it's basically what spawned the TV series in the 50s.
That's crazy. I know the radio show. Hey, Belle, thanks for coming by. Hey, Josh. Hey, Geeks. I think I got it. Creating Kryptonite because the actor was like, okay, I gotta, like, I'm sick or whatever, and they're like, okay, we need to. How would Superman get sick? Hey, Zack Snyder fanboy, what's going on?
And just like, and coming up with the backstory of it, it's like, well, it's radioactive bits from his home planet. It's like, some radio guy came up with that. It's like,
that's so genius. and do I own any Man of Steel toys? Like from the Zack, was there Man of Steel toys? I don't think there was. I've got the black suit Superman. They did Justice League. Did they do Man of Steel toys?
I don't know. I remember the Superman Returns toys.
Yes, I did not like them, actually. And I should have. I would like to get one, because I do try to get one of everybody.
There's cool stuff. There's like laser blast version. Stuff. And they did a version of the Lex Luthor suit, the battle suit, right?
Well, I've got the black suit, the black suit Henry Cavill, Zack Snyder Justice League. That I pre-ordered, thank God, because like those are like effing impossible to get now. My buddy went to the shops because they opened up, and he's like, all this shit is off the shelves. Like people went crazy. So I pre-ordered that, so that should be on its way. I pulled out my buddy Frank Miller, the Frank Miller Superman. I've also got the Frank Miller Batman right there, which I guess is, oh no, he's not. He's in shot.
I don't know what version this is, but I thought it was cool.
I mean, that looks like George Reeves.
It's very angular and stylized. Like it's obviously someone's art style, but I don't know what it's from.
The way the S looks, it looks more like the older S.
It's definitely like the classic suit, and it's got the yellow.
I had so many Superman toys that I sold a few because I didn't know what to do with them anymore, and I've got big ones. I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to show you the big stuff's coming up. But yeah, and this is like my favorite because this is like childhood Superman.
To us, that was Superman. Yeah,
this is Superman. It's exactly Superman. So,
and it had that removable cape that was like clamped onto the.
Yes, the removable cape. What else can I show you guys?
And they made another version later that had the kryptonite ring and the magnet.
Yes,
Superman, and you can like repel him with the kryptonite ring.
Yeah. That's when that was when the other guys took over. They redid all those figures,
but it was. I always thought they took the same molds and just like did new stuff with them.
They did, but they seemed fatter. I don't know if you. Yeah, they look
Superman
fatter
would be
to me.
fatter because he had a magnet
A
inside.
magnet.
So yeah.
What about this?
World's Finest? Yeah.
Oh,
No,
man.
which version? That's like the newer World's Finest and everything, right?
It's a
Like in
trade.
the 80s, right?
So
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
I don't know what. Oh, I hate tape. I'm always scared
Here, I'll show
that
you.
tape's gonna. What's the year on this sucker?
Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, I was with you.
Everyone must own one of these. Like,
Yeah.
wait,
Was
I'll
I
show
with
you
you
the
when
big splash page.
Was I with you when you bought that?
I don't know. I can't remember. You probably were.
I think I was with you when you bought that. So, dude, okay, so your buddy and my buddy Rob Liefeld has stated on record several times that comic right there is
Yeah.
the best drawn comic of any comic there is.
I'd say that.
He said it's the best drawn ever. He goes, it's like crazy good.
I want to show you the wraparound. So
Yeah.
all of these audience members, you can't see it here, but you can make out their faces and likenesses because there's a legend in the inside cover of all these celebrities. Now they're all 70s celebrities, so no one's gonna know who they are now. But like, it's crazy. I think that's the president at the time.
Right.
Yeah. Batman, of course. There's like other guys like Sonny and Cher and stuff like that.
I mean, that's awesome.
The story isn't great, but it was treated as a big event, like it's a big feature length thing. Where Superman has to fight aliens and he teams up with Muhammad Ali. They do have the match, but Superman's like depowered.
He's depowered, yeah.
The thing is, like those giant Treasury editions. Yeah, both companies did them, but DC really went all in and did original stuff. So that was original for that, and that was sold as a big event. Like, this is so big, it's in this Treasury thing. And then they also did Superman versus everyone. They did Superman versus Shazam, Superman versus Wonder Woman. That's a good one. Superman versus there's someone crazy. Okay, Superman versus Spider-Man. They did that. So. Yeah.
I remember Rob Liefeld talking about those treasuries, and he said DC just did it a bit better. They did it better because I think the Marvel ones were just reprints of other famous books they already.
And that's cool. And DC
that's cool.
did that too, but they did a lot of original stuff, and most of the original stuff was Superman versus somebody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and they're so great because they're so huge. Eh?
They're like, big, and the color still pops on those too. Like, for some reason, the paper's still not super duper quality, but it's but they're great to read. They're great to pick up if you can, right? So
they're just neat. Yeah, you gotta store them very carefully because you don't want to get them all messed up, whatever.
Yeah,
but that's an awesome comic. Now. I think so. Really, when we're watching these cartoons and all that, and we never saw the George Reeves stuff. Hey, Anthony, how's it going? We never watched. We watched cartoons, and then the first live action thing was Christopher Reeve.
Yeah,
and I mean, and once you saw that, you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah,
it's like, this is Superman. It's over. Everybody, this is the greatest thing ever. Right? Like, how pumped were you? Well, you saw two in the theater? Jesus Christ!
I saw two in the theater. Yeah, I remember the sense memory of
someone
spilled pop on the floor, and it was mega sticky, and like with my 3-year-old legs, like it was hard to walk and stuff. But I do remember seeing it in the theater. Yeah, because like, I mean, it came out in 1980. Look, the movies were, you could say they're cheesy nowadays, but like the movies were mega quality. I mean. The John Williams score alone with those like graphics coming at you like that was crazy, and it's funny. I think back to the first movie where Superman doesn't appear till like halfway through the movie, and I remember sitting still for the whole thing. I guess it was really compelling. The movie itself is well written. There's a lot of cool stuff that dovetails into Superman. Deciding what kind of Superman he wants to be at the end, right? And all this stuff was new and daring for the time. Like, if that movie were made today, and if no one ever made a Superman thing and they made that movie, fanboys would go ballistic about it. and back then we were accepting. Well, we were kids, but like I think
Right.
most people were accepting of it. The whole business of Krypton being a snow planet like Hoth. This is before Empire though. And the ship being like a star thing and all that. It was
Yeah.
all very visual and weird, but it was bold. It was different. But people accepted all that stuff. Like the Fortress of Solitude. To this day, a lot of people think of it as those big crystal spires that form like the fortress. And it wasn't like it was never like that in the comics. It was always this big cake looking thing with like a yellow door with the big yellow key that you shove in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And only Superman could lift it up because it was.
Yeah,
like
but like everyone else can do that now. It's like there's lots of superpowered flyers that can do the same thing, right? So yeah,
I like the crystal thing. Look, I mean, it's a movie thing. The
Yeah.
movie gave us the Crystal Fortress. It gave us Zod in the format that we all know.
Yeah, Zod was just a bald guy in a beret in the comics, and no one cared about that character. No, it was never a popular character until the movies came out, and even then they barely used him in the comics. I remember there's one episode of Super Friends where they use him, but he looks like the comic version, and that's only because the movie came out, and they're like, I guess we need to use General Zod, right? Yeah, the movie was huge. It was. I mean, people talk about movies in terms of fans nowadays. Like, well, the fans went out to see. It was audiences. Like general audiences came out to see Superman. It wasn't until they released the George Reeves series on TV that I truly appreciated what they did with the movie, because we always thought it was based on the comics because we were kids. We grew up with it. I swear to God, those movies are the first. I'm trying to think. Like Star Wars is its own thing, and is works off of nostalgia of the old serials. But Superman works off of nostalgia of the old show, and it's probably the very freaking first thing to do that. Nowadays, every movie or whatever is like from an old cartoon you saw or something like that, and trying to cash in on that. That's the very first time I think they did that, and they even had the stars of the show in that train that he outruns.
Oh my God!
As Lois Lane's, that's supposed the little girl that's supposed to be Lois Lane is Lois Lane's parents. It's like Noel Neal and George Reeves.
George Reeves,
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it was basically if you watch the first episode of the George Reeves show, it's a 20-minute version of Superman the movie. Superman movie adds a whole bunch of stuff, but it's a big spectacle of a film. For its time, it was taking it seriously. Because if you consider the baseline for camp was Batman, the 66 series, that's not what this was. It was the cops are still normal. Everyone is still normal. It's just into this world is Superman, right? And Christopher Reeve had a big job to do to try and help you take this seriously, right? And many people have said that he's the only one so far. I mean, like Tyler Hoechlin's coming in kind of close, but he's the only one so far where you can buy that people wouldn't think that Clark Kent is Superman. That he played both as different characters. He even physically transforms, you know.
Like he's like this.
2 inches, you know.
Yeah. And remember in Superman 2 where it's like he stands and then it's like he moves it, and you're like,
and he's Superman. Yeah, that's
and he's Superman, and it's like it's crazy. It's in front of you. It's transformed into Superman.
They got a guy who took the role seriously and really wanted to do a good job with it. And like hats off. Margot Kidder does a lot of work to ground the movie too. She's a woman of the day. You know, she's not like just some damsel. You know, everyone does a great job. Everyone is putting their all into it, and it's a terrific movie. I know that people are like, well, it's old fashioned and stuff. I get it, and now whenever I watch it, it looks older and older now. And probably because the cinematography is great, but probably because they tried for that soft look as well, which makes it look old Hollywood. But it's a terrific movie. It's one of the best representations of Superman on screen. I feel is a better one, but I do like the Superman the Animated Series as the best screen representation of Superman. But yeah, Christopher Reeve Superman did a lot. And listen, and look, people take this for granted. I swear to you, I promise you, without Superman the movie, you don't get the superhero movies of today.
Oh, for sure.
I was talking to Steve about this. What happened was they made Superman the movie, and then Superman 2 came out, and that was a giant hit. And they made 3 and 4, and it fizzled. I think after Superman the movie was such a colossal hit and brought superheroes onto the screen for the first time, if you don't count Doc Savage, which shat the bed when it came out. But but Superman was the big successful superhero movie. No one thought you could do that because superhero movies were like the serials and the odd Dick Tracy feature in the 40s, right? Yeah. But this was a big Hollywood spectacle. And after that, I feel like a lot of studios greenlit projects and like tried to develop them, and then they all kind of went into development hell. Then when Batman '89 came out, and that was a giant hit, then all of a sudden, and you remember this era, the '90s was when every year there was at least 2 superhero movies, and the superhero movies were baffling by marketing standards because it's like, listen. Like, I like the Phantom. It's cool. But, like, who in hell knew what the Phantom was? It's like, I like the Shadow, but the Shadow wasn't relevant since the 40s, you know? It's like, all these, it's like, let's do a Tank Girl movie. It's like...
Oh, man, I love Tank Girl.
It's like, all of a sudden, all these things that they had tried to develop in the 80s and just didn't. All of a sudden, they're like, what can we do? What can we do? And all of a sudden, all these movies started coming out. It was crazy.
It's so random. And then they even fake ones, like Rocketeer.
Yeah, Superman started the cycle. No question. It made it popular in Hollywood executives' heads that we can mind comic books for big superhero movies. It's the first. No one can ever take that away from that movie. I dare anyone to argue. You can't. It's like without that movie, you don't get any of this stuff at all.
I would say without Superman the character, you don't get any of fandom at all.
Yeah.
Number one. And then the next, this is like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Superman was the first monolith that the Ape Man, or whatever. Do you want to shoot the shirts? Yeah, okay, let's do the shirts. Hold on, let me do you full screen.
Da, da, da.
There you go.
There he is. He's all back.
Mine you can tell.
Yeah,
it's just
that's the back of his cape.
That's the back of his cape. Yeah, it's like Superman is the 2001: Space Odyssey of pop culture. It's like the first thing was the monolith, the Ape Man touching the monolith. That's the Superman character being created. Then the next step was going to the moon. The next step was Superman the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then the next step after that, I guess we could call like Batman '89, where like that's the new Batman '89 is the start of the whole new thing, which is what we have now.
Yeah, most people pick it as like X-Men, but like you have those people are too young. It's like listen, man, it's Superman and then nothing for a bit, and then Batman kickstarted again. It's like, remember superheroes? You can make money off of them, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, what did we have in mothballs? And quick, get it. And then in the '90s, it was just like throw anything at the screen, but people were like, where's Spider-Man? Where's like Hulk? What's going on, right? And then
because we got all these pulp heroes who I guess were very inexpensive to get, right?
Yeah,
like they're like and then Rocketeer, who was like a fake pulp hero.
Yeah, like Dick Tracy. It's like
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy is cool now, but like I remember the first time I saw Dick Tracy was in the Maxwell House commercial, and I was like,
oh my god, yes!
Yeah, he was like a cartoon, and he went into a thing, and I was like, what? It's weird. Like, why is he a cartoon? And my dad explained Dick Tracy to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I read the comic strips in a school library. And then the movie came out, and I was like, why'd they have 30 villains and they killed them all?
I know, you were so upset over that, but I loved that movie. I walked out of the theater, I was high-fiving, I was like, man, this is like the damn greatest thing ever. And then you got like, Darkman later with Sam Raimi, you started getting some new superheroes.
Well, RoboCop arguably was
RoboCop to me, that was a superhero character.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so yeah, you start to get all these like crazy things. I love Flash Gordon in the 80s, the 1981 too. But yeah, Superman was the catalyst for all of this stuff, like big time, no question. And I think
like the George Reeves series. So like,
so I've got all of those too.
Yeah, even when Superman was hot, honest to God, like I used to read the TV guide cover to cover and see what I wanted to watch for that week. And I don't remember this ever being syndicated, which is weird. I think in some markets it was, but here, like, we didn't get anything. And then I think when Superman 4 came out, we have a station here called City TV.
Yeah.
So they ran a marathon of this live action show, and I was like, what in hell is this? And my dad's all nonchalant, like, that's the series from the like, I don't know what this is. And they played only the color ones. And I thought it was crazy. I was like, my God, it's Superman. What the hell? Why didn't anyone tell me about this? what is this?
Why didn't someone tell me you had one of those things?
I saw it's funny because I watched I Love Lucy a lot.
And he was on.
And I didn't see that episode till after I saw that marathon. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great episode. They colorized that for one of the CBS specials, and the colorized version is awesome because she's wearing a Superman suit
costume,
and he comes in with a mega color Superman suit. It's awesome, man. It's like, and they call me Superman. Yeah.
So what do you think about, okay, let's talk a little bit about sort of the Superboy, Supergirl, like Krypto, like what did you think about these kind of side, see, because this is where you start getting into the, Robin is still a character, but then some people are like, well, you know, Supergirl, it's just Superman.
Well, no, I like them all.
You know, like
Supergirl in the comics. I remember when I read them, she kept changing her costume. It's like the weird lapel S, you know, and the headband one.
I like it.
And of course on special features for the DVD for Supergirl, they were toying with having the headband Supergirl. At that point, she died or something in Crisis. And so here's my bone to pick about John Byrne. Two things I didn't like, and there's the same two things almost everyone else doesn't like. One is that he was hell-bent on Superman being the only survivor of Krypton for whatever reason. And the problem with that was that automatically shrinks the world and universe and stories of Superman. And so it's less fun. There's no Supergirl. There's no Super Pets. There's no Superboy when he was a kid. There's no Phantom Zone criminals. There's no a lot of things. And it's like, well, why draw this line in the sand? It's like, these are supposed to be fun stories. And then slowly they got back into like, let's introduce Supergirl because now I know they did that Matrix thing, but after that they did normal Supergirl. And Superboy was the clone. I don't think they ever went back to like Superman was Superboy when he was a kid. But the problem with that is that what do you do with the Legion of Superheroes? Because their whole thing is that they train Superman when he's a kid and bring him back to the same time. And so it looks like he's just fully formed, right? That was one thing. The other thing was the freaking birthing matrix. Why? Like, I think John Byrne had a problem with, like, most of what he knew about Superman was the movie. And because he even said, I saw the movie 50 times or whatever. It's like, in the movie, he's a baby and he grows to be a boy in the ship. And then
he's like absorbing the knowledge, like
or something. And the thing is, he had a problem with like a kid being in a ship in space, alone and all that stuff. So it's like, this ship has the material needed to give birth to the kid, like it's a like an embryo and all that stuff. And then the ship gives birth to Superman. So he's born on Earth. He's born on Earth. He's not born on Krypton. Look, there's a thing called light speed, and in light speed, you can still travel. A week to you is like years and years and years, right? So like that could be a thing. It just was stupid. They never went back to that after they it was dumb. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of people realize that like it just like was forgotten. But it's like that he's born on Earth is something that's difficult to explain to your average anybody. It's like, no.
Yeah, and I didn't remember that either. I got the issues right there.
Yeah,
and I don't.
He's a baby. It's the story of Moses. In the
It's
story of Moses,
yeah.
like his little like rickety ship doesn't give birth to freaking Moses. No, it's like you send your only son. It's like that's what it is, right? So
That's
yeah,
what it is,
those two things. He took it way too seriously. I like what he did with making like modernizing Superman and everything. That was
Mhm.
cool. But those two things, and he went back on both of them. And because
Yeah,
he had to, it's like
the birthing ship thing is pretty stupid, really. That's stupid.
yeah.
The other thing of the no Kryptonians, I mean that's one of these statements that you know is not going to last because it's
Yeah.
impossible.
Lasts for a long time though.
Yeah, I know it because I've got the first Matrix stuff. I've got everything. I love Matrix. I know, but I don't care. I love Matrix Supergirl. I have I tried to get every appearance of her in all Superman comics, and I still have all of those issues.
Yeah.
I like the Matrix Supergirl. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
The John Byrne thing is just that Lex Luthor seemed a bit more threatening because he was legitimate. Like people liked him.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it really made this whole thing where Superman can't, like, I felt like, why can't Superman just go beat up Lex Luthor? Well, he can't because Lex Luthor is light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, like, damn, you can't beat this guy up. This sucks. And I thought that was so cool. Now, I don't know what it was like. I know he was mad scientist Luthor.
Yeah. And he was just a criminal, stuff like that, and then he had his own planet, like there's a whole science fiction thing, and they had to streamline him, and like making him a corporate bad guy is brilliant. Nowadays it seems a trite and cliche, but like Luthor popularized that. Now there's a whole bunch of them, right? So I want to say something about Superboy because so the Superboy series, it's funny because sometimes when they post all the intros online, it's like here's all the intros and extras for Superboy, and you see comments like of younger people. It's like, what the hell? What was with the Superboy hype? There's like 20 minutes of intros. It's like, how long does this show last? So this is the first Superboy, and then for the rest of it, there's this other dude who's like beefier and kind of looked like Superman. There's 4 seasons. I can't remember how many episodes. A lot. Superboy is great. And the thing is, like, they tried to pull in all these villains and make them look like the characters from the comics, except for Metallo had all these telephone cords, but he looked like crap back then. I don't understand. And Lex Luthor was very 80s, 90s campy, but appropriate for the time. He was like zany and stuff.
Yeah. He
had his own little Harlequin girlfriend, so that was funny. The thing about that show, it's so comic accurate that they had a Superboy comic at the time that tied in with the show, and I remember having a fight with someone in grade 8, like an argument, that Superboy is not part of Superman continuity because John Byrne said there's no Superboy and all that.
Yep.
And he's like, no, there's a comic right now. It's like, what are you talking about? So the next day he brings in, I'm like, it's based on the show. It's not, but it looks, it's even basing it on the show. It might as well be a Superboy comic. It's like when Mixie's Pitlick comes in, he looks like Mixie's Pitlick. It's like, all these other characters just look like Superboy and looks like Superboy. And Lana looks like Lana and she has red hair. It's like
she's the best Lana.
Yeah, you might as well. It's so like as a comic book thing. And plus they did this whole alternate Earth thing where like they go to an alternate Earth where Superboy's evil. And it's weird because Superboy has the shades and the leather jacket. And this is like a good 7 or 8 years before Superboy in the comics looked like that.
Yeah. And
no one's to this day confirmed that they got that look, or it's just a coincidence. But like, it's so good. Like that whole thing about an evil Superman or Superboy, and Superboy has to fight him. That's the first time that was done in media. And it was done before it was like a good 8 years before it was popular. That show's great. You remember the one where Lex Luger from wrestling was Superman? You remember that one?
God, no.
It was like there's one that's sort of like a riff.
Did he have the mullet?
Yes. It's there's one where I can't remember what it's called, but it's a riff on for the Man Who Has Everything. So like there's this glop that goes on Superboy, and they're trying to get it off, and he's hallucinating all these different scenarios. And one of them is there's no explanation for this. Lex Luger comes in the Christopher Reeve Superman outfit, and he mega fills it out because he's like mega like
huge, yeah.
But he's got the big mullet and everything, and he hams it up. And he's like, as the new Superboy, I'm gonna make a few changes, right? And he goes to Lana Lang, and he goes to her neck and just like looks her over, like like and then he fights Superboy, and Superboy turns out to be a robot, and he beats the crap out of Superboy, and he blows up and stuff. There are customs of they put a Lex Luger head on a Superman.
Oh my god, that is genius!
Superboy.
I have to go through that. I have all of the seasons came out, right?
All of them came out. Yeah,
I got them all.
It's great.
Hey, Grandpa, we like Superman. We like Superman and Lois. We both like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Superboy was killer.
Yeah.
And I know there's the whole strike with the writers, so they got the comic book guys in there, which is genius.
Yeah.
And when that happened, you'd think that they'd be like, well, let's just use comic book writers to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because
and then they're the ones that brought in the comic book villains. Not Brainiac, sorry, he was never in it. Bizarro is awesome. And whenever he turns up, it's in two-parters. And like for the time, the makeup was pretty good, you know. To this day, well, I don't know. I didn't really watch Smallville, but I'm sure
I didn't watch it either, but I have it all.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a version in there, but yeah, it's really good. The flying effects range from really great, like oh my god, how they do that, to holy shit, this is terrible. But I'm used to that, you know. But that whole show, when I want a Superman fix, sometimes I just pop that in for a couple episodes. It's great. It's great. Late 80s comic book fun. It's so good. And you know what's funny too is the last two seasons they worked for some bureau that's sort of like the X-Files. This is like just before the X-Files. Right. Back then paranormal stuff was big, like it was in the ether, so they go and investigate paranormal activity and stuff like that. But that's awesome. And it's always a supervillain of some sort, you know. So yeah. No,
the Superboy show is great.
Yeah, Supergirl, the movie, I saw it in the theater. I remember being very curious and excited about it. They showed stuff in the trailer. Look, I adore it because I grew up with it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a great movie, but J-Man will. But like,
yes, it's great. Yes. I'll tell you, it's a great movie.
But anyway. But yeah, no. What was it, Helen Slater? Was that her name?
Yeah, for sure.
She's great as Supergirl. It's just I wish they had a better villain and better effects and a better script. I just, you know,
what? You're expecting all that from a movie?
Jerry Goldsmith score is great.
It's great. I have the score.
My head, like, oh my god, what a great super score. It's and they never used it again because they never made any more. But yeah, that's a cool movie too. It's just as a campy Superman fix. It's supposed to be within the continuity, so they were doing a universe back then. It's the kind of thing like they could do a whole Superman universe of movies, and that's what they were sort of trying to do. But really, what they were trying to do is cash grab on Superman, right? It's the Salkins, right. So yeah.
I mean, I like Supergirl. Again, this is the Superman 3 argument. Look, Supergirl goes into the Phantom Zone, and there's like a good 15 minutes in the Phantom Zone with her, and it's the damn best. Like she's all cut up and bleeding. She's all dirty and mucky, and she's like, "Oh my god, like what is this?" I was like, "This is crazy!" Like we're in the Phantom Zone. Yeah. So every movie's got its thing. Yeah. You know, like Superman 3, people, it's cheesy, whatever. Yeah, but when he fights himself in that junkyard, that was the damn best.
That's cool, yeah.
And Supergirl, it's like she's in the Phantom Zone. They still haven't done that, right? No. When are we going to get Phantom Zone action? We still haven't gotten any of that.
They showed it in Man of Steel, but like a version of it.
But I want to see fighting in the Phantom Zone.
In the Phantom Zone, yeah, or like a new, with new technology. What are you going to do with that landscape?
Right,
it'd be awesome, yeah.
So I mean, Supergirl tried to do some things that we hadn't seen, and Faye Dunaway. I mean, look, she's cheesy and she's played for laughs or goofiness. which is underwhelming because you want to see Supergirl fight someone who's formidable and actually have a good fight. She fights that shadow creature thing. That was kind of neat.
I know, but I can't help but think that it's an invisible creature because they couldn't afford the stop motion.
Well, that is the reason.
Now it's invisible.
Well, you get to see him for a second there. I don't know. They tried. They
the serial for a second because we didn't really.
Oh yeah, Kirk Allen. We kind of glossed over that.
So Kirk Allen is cool. I think
he's animated.
He turns into animation when he flies. He couldn't do anything else. The second one, Adam Man versus Superman is one of my favorite Superman movies. I know it's a 12 chapter serial, which is about 3 hours long. But it's the first screen appearance of Lex Luthor. Arguably, and I know no one knows about this version because no one watches this except for us, but arguably one of the best Lex Luthors. Now at the time he was a mad scientist, so that's what he is in this thing. But he plays him understated. Like there's a choice made here, and like he's not a hooty hollering villain. He's a serious dude. And he's written awesome too. Like there's this one part where he has this machine that can turn you into atoms and scatter you into space, and that's how he kills you.
Right.
And that's like mega overdoing it. But he has these two henchmen, and he's like, "You failed me," right? And it's like I'm gonna one of you is gonna go in that machine and get scattered into atoms through space and die, right? And it's like pick one among you. And the one guy's like, boss, I'll do it. It was my fault. And he goes like, it's very brave of you. We need bravery in our organization.
Yeah, I know.
You go in there. It's like, no. It's like great villain.
Is that on that disc? Which disc is that?
This is
that's in that pack, right? Yeah,
this is both of them. Yeah,
I've got that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Clobbering Times, thanks for coming by.
Clobbering Times. Hey,
you'd be perfect for this, buddy. This is all Superman classic shit. We're talking all the good Superman stuff, and I like the John Byrne stuff. I know you're kind of, you know what? If Clobbering Times was here like 10 minutes ago, he would have heard Sean say the problems with the John Byrne stuff, and everybody would have agreed with that. The thing is, it's like because I started, like I really got heavy into it. I was like, but anyways, the Kirk Allen.
I was gonna say, Adam Man versus Superman has some of the best Superman versus Lex Luthor stuff. And it's like they keep one-upping each other with different schemes. Like at one point, Superman flies a rocket into space and like it crashes down to Earth as though it's a meteorite, and fools Lex Luthor into thinking it's kryptonite. So that's one scheme. Lex Luthor has a whole bunch of different schemes, and of course, any kid knew that Adam Man was Lex Luthor.
Right.
But it's a great them versus each other thing, and like no one talks about it because it's one of the serials, right? But if you like Superman, you should really watch the serials. I know it's 4D special effects and stuff, but they're great fun, and having the first screen appearance of Lex Luthor is awesome too.
That's crazy.
And that guy Talbot, I can't remember his first name. He's wicked. Lyle Talbot, I think. He's great as Lex Luthor. Like he's amazing, because he plays him understated. He doesn't play him like campy and stuff, right?
I'm gonna have to do those for my breakfast cereal. Reviews. I'm doing the Crimson Ghost. I just started that tonight. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow morning and hopefully review that tomorrow if I can. So Clobby met Kirk Allen. That met and spent a good. Wow, that's killer. Lyle Talbot. There you go.
Kirk Allen, yeah.
That's crazy.
Kirk Allen has a weird craven look when he smiles. His eyes bug out like that. It's weird, but
weird. It is weird.
I guess he couldn't help himself. I don't know. There's a great moment where it's like it's Lois Lane's birthday, and they have a cake, and then so they uncork this cake, and then what's his name, Perry White goes, "Okay, guys, get back to work," and he goes into his thing, and then Clark Kent's looking, and finally he closes the door and he goes, "Good," and he slices like giant slice of cake. He's like, "Oh boy!" Like he's like, and I'm like, "That's awesome." It's a fun little small moment, like, but they have fun with it. And the other thing too about Adam Man vs Superman, I think that's the one where for the only time ever, Noel Neal had like comic accurate hair. It's like it's like
Oh.
it's like she's like right out of the comic. It's crazy. It's like they did her hair exactly like the comic books, and then after that it was her normal hair, and that's fine. But,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was surprised when I went back to Action Comics #1 and whatever. I think like Ultra Humanite was the first
Villain. Yeah.
villain where I'm like, oh shit, Ultra Humanite. I'm like, what the hell?
And he's not the ape-like looking guy.
He's not the ape.
Yeah,
I love the ape.
Yeah.
The ape guy. They're never. Are they ever going to put that guy somewhere? But he's a sick character. But like, I was just like, and he looks a little bit like Lex Luthor.
And then they replaced him with Lex Luthor.
With Luthor, yeah.
But Ultra Humanite.
Ultra Humanite, dude. Where's hashtag restore?
Yeah, why isn't
Ultra
he one of the
Humanite,
top 10 villains? Like
where's that guy? Like, bring that guy back. He's a friggin' bastard.
Yeah.
I'm like, so it's cool when you go back and look at these things, the radio shows, and you're like, oh, Kryptonite? What? Holy shit! This is crazy. I thought you were gonna pull out an Ultra Humanite figure.
No, I want to show something.
Ultra Humanite figures. Oh, what do you want?
This will go to my one of my questions here.
All right, let's see.
The animated movies.
Yes.
So, they're cool. You know, they don't make enough Superman ones, and I feel like it's like they struggle to figure out what they can do with that.
Right.
I find Batman stories are more, and we talked about this, they're more celebrated than Superman stories.
Right.
So it was like, oh, Long Halloween and Dark Victory, right? And no one talks about like Hell on Earth or like, Ending Battle or something cool. And the thing is, so they had these 80th anniversary packs. So here's the 80th anniversary pack of Superman. It's 8 items. I'll get to that. Here it is.
Yeah, I own all those separately because I didn't buy that.
And they had the 80th anniversary pack of Batman. Right. 2 freaking boxes.
Right.
A pack-in comic. It's like I think it's Batman Year 1.
Oh, awesome.
A bonus disc with like documentaries and stuff. 18 movies. So to be fair, they released four movies after this. But this comes with Superman Shazam, Return of Black Adam, which is a short, which is packed with other shorts. It's not a movie.
Thank you, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Yeah. Superman Doomsday, All-Star Superman, Superman versus the Elite,
those are all
Superman Unbound, Superman Batman Public Enemies, and Superman Batman Apocalypse. Cool, if you're gonna throw in the team up ones, I guess pad this with those. And this is a super reach. Justice League versus Teen Titans on the Superman 80th anniversary pack.
Right. I know, but
Brainiac Attacks is not on here. Yeah.
There's more Superman ones now. There's the Death and the Rain.
Yeah, they made 4 since then. Death,
Tomorrow,
Rain, Red Sun, and
Tomorrow.
Now I didn't get Death and Rain. I always get the deluxe because to me this is what they really want to release, right? This is like a 2 hours and 46 minutes. It's
the full thing together. I just buy everything that comes out.
I should get Death and Rain. I should get them, but I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make them one big movie. So, but my question is, you're a producer at Warner Animation, and you want to pitch a Superman animated movie. What do you want to adapt? What do you want to do?
Me? Oh my God! I told you there's that story where Magog, or not? Sorry, he's just called Gog in this one.
Oh, the Gog,
yeah. Where he captures Superman, and I was like, this is like the damn best. I don't know where I have it in one of the long one of the short. You only use short boxes now because long boxes are too heavy. Yeah. It's in one of my short boxes, which I could pull out. Or, I mean, I'm trying to see what else I got in this pile here that I was trying to bring out. I didn't want to bring out like too many Superman comics because it's like then I got to put them all back. So I think I would do that Gog story, or what other good ones were there? There's just like so many neat ones. There's like, I think yeah. Go ahead. What's yours? Well, I think the Gog one.
There's a lot to do, right? So I would do Ending Battle would be good. I guess we could spoil things here, but like Ending Battle was basically, do you remember this? It was like supervillains keep attacking acquaintances and loved ones of Clark Kent, and so Superman's like, someone knows my identity, so he gathers them all up and he tries to find who it is. It turns out to be Manchester Black, and Manchester Black. Then I'm going to give everything away because
give it away. This is cool.
But Manchester Black then threatens Lois Lane and kills her. So Superman goes and he's like, my God, like you killed her, and he's like, like I killed your wife or whatever. It's like, kill me then, like here I am. It's like, you're the big Boy Scout. It's like, come on, like even this, come on, right? He eggs him on, and then Superman's like, no, he picks up Lois Lane is gonna find a safe place to put her. He's like, and he's like, what? My God, you're the real thing, because he's trying to prove that he's not the real thing, right? He's like, my God, you're the real thing. You're not going to kill me. What is this? And then he waves the illusion, and of course she's not dead.
She's not dead, right?
And which of course goes against the whole injustice thing, but whatever. But I think that would be a great.
I don't like injustice. There's
100. Yeah, I know. There's 100 villains in it. That would make a great, and it's a great follow up to one of their best ones, which was Superman versus the Elite. That movie, I would say,
that should be the next movie.
Yeah, that movie is, I would say, better than What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, because it fleshes things out more. They use Atomic Skull great, because
yes, I agree with you.
He's the best example of the argument, because he's such a monster. Why wouldn't you kill him, right? And Superman is against it. And I love that in the movie he takes off his cape and he puts it over the head, like he's been just to give him some dignity. That's a nice touch. That's a good one. That's a good one. Superman Unbound is great too.
It's great too.
If someone were to say, like, pitch me a Superman sequel to like all this stuff right now, I'd be like, yeah, I adapt Jeff Johns' Brainiac run somehow. It's like, by the end of that, Superman learns not to bubble wrap everything and protect everything. He understands that like chaos is chaos. Yeah. But that's how he defeats Brainiac. Brainiac tries to bottle everything, like literally. Yep. And then that's how he's defeated. And also Superman learns more about Kryptonian culture, because he encounters a whole bunch of Kryptonians in one of the bottle cities, and they show him how life was back then. And that's cool too. So now he has a connection to that. That would be a great story. There's a lot of action. You get the Skull Ship. You get him punching a whole bunch of Brainiac robots. Cool stuff.
Yeah, this is good too.
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow? Yeah.
That's
that's one of the great classics.
That's a good one too. Yeah. I love All-Star Superman. I know that's everyone says they love it, but I do love it. So what do you want me to tell you?
They should have done a longer one. I know they did Emperor Joker in Batman Brave and the Bold, but to me it's a Superman story, because he takes the powers of Mxyzptlk and kills Batman every day, like in some gruesome way. And Superman, of course, is the one that has the experience with this kind of thing, right? So he has to defeat him. That's cool too.
Superman versus the Elite. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that I mean, like that's a great one to do right now. I would say take Henry Cavill right now, because I still like Henry Cavill. I think most people do like Henry Cavill.
No, just like move on with the character. That's all they had to do. Yeah.
I would literally just do that movie.
I would do that. Manchester Black is not super expensive. He's a dude with like his. Now I had him in the comic. I thought it was a shirt. It's actually it's tattooed on his. The Union Jack is tattooed on his chest.
Are you for real? I didn't know. I didn't realize that.
You know what? That's the way it is in the movie. So I don't know if that's the way it is in the comic. In the movie, it's tattooed on his chest, man.
We read the comic and reviewed it.
I know. I didn't catch that at all. They didn't call it out, but in the movie they call it out, because you're looking at art, so you don't know that.
Right, I never picked up on that.
Yeah, it's like but anyway.
Well, they can make it like an armor. They can make it armor plated if they. Well, I guess he doesn't really need armor plated.
Tattoo is more weird. Like I would do that. That Brainiac would be great. There's a lot you could do. Like Hell on Earth was great, but like Kryptonians and stuff and more. The thing is, Superman's villains don't really have their own premier stories. Like poor Mongol, can be swapped out by anyone. Like in the Death and Rain movies, they swap him out for Darkseid, because like why bother, right? And for the Man Who Has Everything, it could be any villain. It doesn't have to be Mongol, right? So
but Mongols would be a visually very cool. Like See, a lot of
Monolith
these characters
Warworld, it would be unique.
are
Yeah,
unique. Yeah, like
yeah,
again, and I think Zack Snyder, if he had these opportunities to see these other characters, it's like go with something like that, and then show why Superman is a hero. You know, like
yeah.
that. You really have a lot
Yeah.
of opportunities here
Well,
to do, and,
that's all you
and just
really
talk.
need is yeah,
Look,
stories that emphasizes heroism and
yeah,
and challenge it like ending battle, like challenge it, right? And see how he comes out on top. You know,
yeah.
that's all you need, right? Yeah.
So okay, so I mean, we can get into a little bit of the. Okay, so I'm gonna put some. I got my Frank Miller Superman. I'm gonna put him away. He's got to go stand because I know you're not. I don't. I actually don't like Frank Miller's version of Superman, but I like he just visually looks like a beefed up guy.
Yeah.
I don't like corporate or stooge or whatever, like government stooge Superman. I don't think that would ever. I don't really think that would happen.
Red Sun was like, to me, Red Sun. He's still a patsy in that.
Yeah. I mean, I like
did,
Red Sun. I can't stand Mark Millar.
Oh, you didn't like Red Sun? Did you?
No. I didn't want. I don't mind Red Sun.
Okay, yeah.
I like Red, but I mean, I'm talking the comics.
Yeah, comic, yeah.
But other, like, I just can't stand Mark Millar or whatever.
Miller, yeah.
I literally can't stand. And
he's
I don't want to get negative.
Denominator, and that's how he became innovative in comics, right?
I can't stand. I absolutely hated Wanted. I literally threw up.
Yeah.
And I gave the. Were you there at that show?
Yeah.
We were selling books, and someone's like, "Oh, Wanted." I was like, "You could take it if you want it. You could take it." I cannot stand that fellow. I tried Kick-Ass. I actually thought the Kick-Ass movie was better. Or whatever. That's a different stream.
Yeah. But
that's a different stream. But Red Sun, I actually didn't mind that. I thought that was somewhat of a neat idea.
The movie doesn't have that twist ending, which I thought was the best part of that comic. Yeah. But yeah, I just feel he's still Patsy. Dark Knight Returns Superman in Red Sun. He's still going with these ideals and doing stupid stuff because he doesn't know any better, kind of thing. And it's like it's a well told story, but it's like, I don't know. It paints Superman as a naive a hole. You know, it's like he believes in the like in Dark Knight Returns, he believes in the government and all that stuff. And in Red Sun, he believes in Stalin's USSR, and then realizes that he's been lied to. And then later on, he believes what he's doing is right when he brainwashes people, and realizes he's been duped by Brainiac. So he's been duped twice. And it's like,
why are you a moron?
Idiot? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, come on.
So what do you think about the Elseworlds kind of stuff? I personally really don't like I like Kingdom Come. That's Elseworlds. I like The Nail. Did you read The Nail?
I didn't want to bother with that, but yeah.
I think that was pretty neat. I think that was Elseworlds. So some Elseworlds stuff I don't mind.
Yeah.
But I don't. Anytime they make Superman bad or whatever, I absolutely cannot stand it. He's not a bad guy. I hate it. I hate it. I flat out hate it. I don't mind. Like, I know in not Lois and Clark, what's it called? Superman and Lois. I know in SNL. Hey, that's weird.
Oh, yeah.
SNL. I know in SNL, they've got the bad Superman of the other world that Steel is fighting. I mean, I'm okay with that because we have Tyler as the good guy Superman. Yeah. So that's fine. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you start getting into this Injustice where he's like this evil being, I'm like, he's not evil. He grew up. Hey, Pikachu, what's going on? I know you love Injustice, buddy. We're not gonna be negative. We're being positive on this one, dude. So we're not gonna beat you up. But I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, Superman should be a superhero. There's been a drive towards what if you were evil, like for the past 20 or 30 years now, and that goes toward like each era of Superman represents something in America, right? There's like there's World War II and there's domestic 1950s sexual revolution of the 60s and 70s and stuff, and then redefining a new Superman for the 80s with the corporate Lex Luthor and everything. 90s, it's the wedding and the death of, which made
Yep.
them white hot. But lately it's been like, what if Superman were bad? And I feel like there's more and more and more distrust of authority. And Superman represents the ultimate authority. If he's super powerful, why can't he just do all this other? I've
Right.
never understood that argument. If you're super powerful, you're not going to rule the world. That's called politics. We're going to figure out what dam to make. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, because it's like
there's
we
no
can rule
peace.
the ants. Am I going to
Yeah.
go step on ant colonies and destroy ants? I did
it's-
not read any of those two. Things.
There's no peace. It's like if you're a bad guy all the time, then you're constantly looking over your net. I don't care how invulnerable you think you are. It's like, why not do good? Why not be loved, right? It's stupid. It's stupidness. But and the thing about Injustice is like they had to make these comics to get to the game. And it's like 5 years before the game, so it's like each year, right? But the thing is, it's like what if? Like I'm not averse to macabre stories with these characters. Like what if was always that, right? It's like I love the one, I think it's the 70s one where Hulk goes on a rampage and like kills Thor and kills Iron Man. It's like I think he like bear hugs Iron Man and crushes him to death or something stupid. I can't.
Well, he's being irritated.
Thor,
Iron Man was irritating.
It's like,
what do you want?
I'm fine with those stories, but like Injustice was like multiple issues of that where they had to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and kill all these characters in these crazy ways, and everyone's mega like outside of their character and outside their norm, and it becomes like, well, what the hell? It's just stupidness at this point, right? But yeah, I don't know. I know they're making that movie, that animated movie. Superman should still be. I mean, in the comics, he's still the superhero, and at this point, with all the media and stuff and all the different interpretations and everything, I'm back to, as long as Superman's in the comics, I'm good. I don't care anymore. I used to,
I'm with you,
and I don't give a crap no more. It's like you can't do a Superman story right. Something's blocking you from doing this. You got to reinterpret and reinterpret and reinterpret, rather than just have the character from the comics fight the characters from fight the villains from the comics. Some of the stories from the comics, adapt those. Why not do that? And they're not. And I'm fine with it now. I'm at peace with it now. I'm older, so I can be at peace with it. But I just, to me, it's the comics now is Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get into our classic stuff in a second. So, like, yeah, me too. I'm like, just like, as long as the comic books are still pretty good, and Bendis is off the thing now. We've got the new creative team. We're both reading the current Supermans. I'm liking it, to be honest. And if they're gonna say Superboy or Jonathan Kent is gonna be the Superman title, and Action Comics is gonna remain Superman.
Yeah,
I think that's like like Kal-El.
It won't be that way for long, but yeah.
I know they'll merge.
Yeah,
it back,
they'll switch it up.
Yeah. They'll switch it back, but that's fine. I like it, so I don't mind. This is why I don't get too upset. Like, if we talk about it on the channel, then we talk about it because we're talking about it. We're nerds talking about stuff, and we're gonna eventually, people are gonna butt heads, right? But that's just how that goes. So I'm gonna talk about it in that way, but I'm not gonna like actively go out and get angry with people because it doesn't bother me. If people really love this Injustice or like the BVS stuff and all that, that's great. And if that gets you to buy Superman comics, that's even better.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get you to buy Superman comics, that's okay. As long as you're in the positive. I want Superman's name to be seen in a positive way. I want people to be excited about Superman. If they're excited about a Superman I'm not excited about, that's okay, because I'm still excited about Superman in general.
Yeah.
Latino Slant. I subscribe to Latino Slant. He's a pretty cool guy. He's good. Superior. Okay, so I haven't. I will check these out then.
I'll check them out.
I'll check them out then. I didn't.
Because when I see his name, I'm like, it's got to be nihilistic, right?
Yeah, that's no problem. As soon as I see him, I'm like, yeah. Okay, let's get into some. We've got some pictures here and some other stuff. So we're gonna show. I'll show my. Yeah, you're already like, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll show a couple of mine first. So here's like there's me. That's an old picture. I got the Return of the Jedi, I'm sorry, Empire Yoda there.
Yeah.
In the very, very bottom corner, there's a Spider-Man Parachute Man, which is like my literally like is like my favorite toy. But this picture here, in the background, at the TV, there's a Superman. That's a Superman and a Spider-Man, and underneath that is the General Lee. But that Superman and Spider-Man, they actually had Velcro on their hands, so they could stick to you, and they had them on their feet.
Looks like an episode of Cheers too.
Oh well, for sure. I'm sure we were watching that. So that's that there in the back, and then this is another angle where you can see Superman a bit better in the very, very corner there at the edge. Yeah, so there's Superman, and I had a Spider-Man toy. Or Spider-Man chair as well, which I can't find. And then here you go, boom, the Superman cake.
That cake was used by everybody.
Everybody, baby. Yeah, there's the Superman cake. I don't know how old I was there.
Are you 7? It looks like a 7 there.
It's a 7, yeah. So I'm 7. There's my. So that's pretty good. Okay, so let's get it now. Let's see Sean Superman cake. Boom! Oh my God.
I'm 6 there. I got my Superman shirt, and for whatever reason, a Smurfs hat. I called out all the girls at my party, so yeah.
Oh my God, yes, there's girls there. Good job, dude.
Yeah, it's the same cake pan, I guess, that they use in every bakery.
Yeah, look, it's like it's very much the same cake.
I remember it was like buttercream or something. It was nice. That was 1983. That was when Superman 3 came out. So that's the summer of Superman 3.
And there's Sean in the Superman. Now, I'm showing this one first. I'll show you Sean. The mask is removed later, but that was a creepy. These were so creepy. These faces, I swear.
This is a good costume because usually the costumes were just a bib with the guy's picture and name on it. It's like
this is much better.
Like a picture of Dr. Doom, but this is more just the costume. There's no. I don't know if it came with like red underwear to put over this, but there's no red. It's like a New 52 suit. In 1983.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Those bastards, they copied it.
And they put an S instead of the oval for the belt. It's weird.
That is weird. Hey, that's the Superman Returns costume. And then there's you without the mask just to prove that it was you.
Just being, I don't know, with my pose face. Yeah. But
you're just like, okay.
That was Halloween 1983 as well. So I was like 6.
Yeah, okay, so what's going on? Not this one, dude. If you want to do one of these with me, you and me, let me know if you want to do one. Hit me up and we can figure something out. Sorry about this Latino slang thing. No, I like Latino slang. He's a cool guy. That's okay, dude. I didn't even mind. I didn't even notice that was like a thing. Okay, so I showed everybody this already, right? Okay, so check this out. I don't know what year this is, but in school. And I'll make myself full screen. I wrote a paper on Superman. I don't know how old this was, but like, so it's like a whole little thing on Superman. It's pretty long. So this was when Superman had died, and then he got resurrected. So I tried to draw the different Superman. Like saying this was the new. So at this time, we didn't know if Superman was coming back. We literally thought he was like. You knew in comics, but you never knew for sure. So I tried to draw all the different Supermans, their Steel, who had come out, and then there's my bibliography and everything. So and my bibliography includes the Dan Jurgens Doomsday story that was published in '92, the Jerry Ordway Life After Death. Which was 93, and Jane and Michael Stern's Encyclopedia of Pop Culture, which was just like some random stuff. But yeah, and I did like the whole Superman thing. I colored this with pencil crayon.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a marker, buddy. Like seriously. I also got Steve, who you've seen on the show so many times, got me this coin. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a Canada coin.
These are Canada. These are Canadian, right, Sean?
Yeah, there's a Canadian connection with Superman. So Joe Shuster grew up in Toronto, and and he was a paper boy for this for the Toronto Star, which is still a paper here. The Daily Planet, you know all this, right, James?
Yes,
the
I know
Daily
this.
Planet was called the Daily Star
Yep.
in the original Superman comics, and then they had to change it to Daily Planet because there's so many stars in like as papers.
Right.
And Metropolis itself was modeled after Toronto.
Yep.
So that's cool. I mean, that's, we always have that. So,
All right. So
and, go on.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, in Canada we have this comedy duo, Wayne and Schuster. Frank Schuster and Joe Schuster are first cousins. So they were related. So anyway, there's
the smell.
Yeah,
the smell of old comics.
Now you open
so
those
good.
bags, right?
Of course, I opened them.
Yeah, me
Dude,
too.
$30. My comic shop did me dirty. I was calling that bastard. I'm like, guy, you better have one.
Yeah.
I was like, you better have one. He's like, Jay, I got your copy. It's good, dude. And literally, he's telling you, he's on the phone. He's like, dude, it's a pretty hot book. I'm like, oh man, I had this on the pull list from the dawn of the friggin' Planet of the Apes or whatever. I was like, dude, I had this. He's like, I know, but it's like really hot. I was like, oh, seriously? So $30.
I had said I got my cover price. I remember that being unusual because every comic shop was doing this. That thing was white hot. And as I said before, the day there was a release date on every poster and stuff, the day that was supposed to be sold, the comic shop was filled with speculators, man. It's like people you've never seen in a comic shop before were just flocking. And what's funny is so I used to go to this shop called Ron's Comic Room in Scarborough, Ontario.
Yes.
And the front is like the new comics and the back is the back issues. And you could tell it's speculators because it's all just the front where all the new comics were packed, and you had to like elbow through. The back where the back issues were, nothing, nobody, and it's like, and I got some back issues. Yeah, it's like the back's the best. Yeah,
it just reopened in Canada. I'm literally going tomorrow to the one shop that has a back room, and I'm hitting that back room, and I'm hitting it large.
Yeah,
I'm hitting it large tomorrow. I want to grab some Brave and the Bold, just because we've been talking so much about it, and then I just got pumped up to read more. Okay, so I've shown you guys that stuff, and I showed superpowers. Yeah, Klobby is liking my superpowers. I've got Wonder Woman in the packaging behind there. I got Aquaman in the packaging. Red Tornado, Firestorm, 2 dark sides. I got Calabac, Brainiac, Robin. I don't have Batman, which I'm very upset that I don't have Batman.
The only thing I have is the Batmobile in box. I should have brought that.
Shit, that's cool. Yeah, but
it's got all the inserts and everything too. Yeah,
I'm running out of space to put this shit on. Okay, I showed this on before. Do you have this, Sean?
No, I don't.
No. Steven got this for me. Steven has gotten me a lot of great gifts. Yeah. Oh, Sean got me a Zod. I've got Zod up here.
Oh, yes.
You got me the Zod.
Yeah. Who is this?
Superman.
Yeah.
I defy you.
Who is this imbecile? Yeah.
That line is very different.
Who is this imbecile?
It's like there's one man here. Yeah,
why would you tell this to me when you know I'm killing for it? Yeah.
I literally everything that General Zod says.
I know
it's the best line ever. I don't care. I don't care. Terrence Stamp from that one role. Terrence Stamp has earned the immunity necklace, like from Survivor. He cannot do wrong. I mean, unless he literally rapes somebody or something. But I'm talking about if I just see him anywhere, he's the automatic best. But no, so Steve got me this. This is the DVD, but they did these really beautiful editions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Where it's like they give you like the program and they give you the poster, which is really cool.
Yeah,
it's folded. Posters used to be folded in the 80s. So all my Mad Max original posters, original one sheets, those are all folded. It gave you a film cell, so that's the film cell I have, this picture, but the cell.
Yeah,
which is really cool. And they gave you the lobby cards, which are kind of in here. Remember when you used to get cool shit like lobby cards?
I know.
They don't do anything like that anymore. It's so brutal. But this is a crazy set.
I was gonna say like the Salkins were such money grubbing a holes that DC Comics couldn't even do like comic adaptations of the movies. Like I think the only one is like Superman 4, whatever. But they did these big treasury editions. So this Superman 2
Oh, that's
got a lot of
beautiful.
great stuff. But I was gonna show you won't get a strike, don't worry. I was gonna show this it's Ursa but like in mega racy outfits and stuff.
Yeah. Woo!
It's like
Sarah Douglas.
but yeah, it's cool. It's got all these great color things, color photos and stuff for Superman 2. I had a whole bunch of souvenir books for Superman 1 and 2. And some of them were designed as like Daily Planet specials and stuff with like articles and stuff like that. There's really cool. They did a lot of great stuff for Superman, just like everything but comic adaptations, like except for Part 4. But yeah,
I've got I have the Superman Part 4 original 27x41 sheet.
Mhm.
It was the only Superman poster I could afford
That's
to
a
get the
great
original.
poster, man.
It's absolutely a
It's-
freaking great poster.
Yeah, with the tank treads and like the tanks
Yeah.
and
It's
he's
like-
fine. Yeah, it's great.
it's
It's like
great.
yeah, no, it's awesome.
I love it. I know, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to show you the friggin' Maddie collector bullshit that I had to friggin' wait
Yes,
and count down and be like, click to add to cart, and then quickly try to sign out before it's sold out. It's like, okay, here we go. All right, so we're gonna start. We'll start with Gene first. It's glaring, but what can I? Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can. No, I can't. I can't make it unglare. But there you go.
Yeah. Whew.
It's pretty damn awesome. And it's like, and then if you put the sides together, it spells out
Oh,
Superman.
that's Superman, yeah.
So there's that one. And now we're going to bring out our buddy,
Oh, cool.
Zod. And then this has like, this here has like a lot of, has accessories inside. So there's
Yeah.
like lots of stuff in here as well.
That big glam rock costume, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
It's
awesome.
just the damn best.
Oh God. Well,
Yeah,
there
there you
it
go.
is. There's the real costume.
There it is. Yes.
Oh,
And look, you get the crystals.
yeah.
Like you could put you insert the crystals and stuff. So yeah, these
gonna say-
were killer.
We were on our honeymoon in Vegas, just like 12 years ago, of course. And there was a place in Caesar's Palace that used to have like collectors stuff and all that. That's where I got the Calabac and everything, and I gave it to you. Like the super.
Oh, I've got that. I've got
Yeah.
all of that stuff super clean and in a
Yeah.
nice box. or
But
whatever.
they had a Superman 4 Christopher Reeve costume,
Oh my God.
with a certification and everything, and it was $2,000, and I was
That's
like,
nothing.
I had the money, but I was like, I got married 5 days ago. I'm not.
Well, you failed.
It's
You have
like,
failed this.
I
You have
could
failed
had
this
a
fandom.
Christopher Reeve costume, but like I was like, I'm not.
Dude, you
I went
failed.
there every day, and I just looked at it, and I was like, I don't know. I
Oh
can't
my
right now,
God!
man.
You should have bought that. You have failed. Remember in Green is our Green Arrow.
It's
Like,
a big fail.
you
I
have
know.
failed. You have failed this fandom.
It was
It's like
I stared. I was like, my God, I could have a piece of history, like the real
Jesus
costume.
Christ.
That I could like clone another Christopher Reeve from his sweat or something. It's like, Yeah.
I do remember this. The Superman 3. had the-
I didn't know that. I'm gonna track that down, man.
It's on eBay. You can super get it.
Yeah.
You can super get it. And actually, next time that the TCB Toronto Comic Book Show TCBS.
I can't
One-
wait to go back.
Oh my God, Sean, we're going. And then we
I'm
gotta get that
jonesing so
Johnny
bad. I was late to collecting treasuries. I have a bunch of them, but like there's Superman. Like I don't have Superman versus Wonder Woman. I know there's the new one, the hardcover one. I want the real one.
Yeah, no, you got it.
It's like yeah,
Well, we know the guys that have them. It's always the same guys.
yeah,
This
yeah.
show, I guess nobody's from Toronto here, but this show that Sean and I attend, and I do a video every time I go. Unfortunately, we haven't gone, so you can see some of it. It's a show for literally 90% books. It is only comic books.
Yeah.
There's no Funko Pops, which Sean hates, which I'm not. I don't hate, but anyway, none of that. There's not toys or anything like that. It's only comic books or memorabilia. Like there'd be like cards.
Yeah.
Like you bought a few sets, right? Like
It's got yeah. I've bought sets from there. I got I got my Superman 3 sealed case.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, that's
I've
fantastic.
got Superman 1, 2, 3, and Supergirl like complete.
Wow.
Like I have this, like obviously the complete set's in here. I just have to unpack it. I probably never will do that. Um,
Oh, you know what, man?
they
I'm
never
telling
made a
you.
part 4 top set. Like I know there's a fan made one, but yeah. Anyway,
Let's do let in 20 years from now.
yeah.
Let's meet up and let's open that Superman 3 and open up every pack
Yeah,
and
you
see
have
what.
to. Yeah, because I saw someone do that online. It's like unpack, and they got a full set and a whole bunch of incomplete sets. But like but you just like map out what cards you have, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
I used to buy boxes of Ken Kelly and Boris
Mm,
and those like Frazetta, those cards I really like, and I always get a full set. And then Jace, my friend and I, well, whatever, his name's Jason. So and I'm a Jason as well.
yeah.
So my friend Jason and I would buy the box, and then
Mhm.
I would get two set. You'd get two complete sets, and
Yeah.
I would give him a set for like a third of the price of the box
Mhm.
or whatever, and then I
Yeah.
would keep the spares. It was great. It was great. It was great stuff. Okay, so I wear this. I don't show it on screen, but this is the Christopher Reeve Foundation Go
Mhm.
Forward dog tags. It's $10. You get two dog tags. They're on Warner Brothers. I think it's in Warner Brothers WB shop. It goes to Christopher Reeve Foundation. I on my Facebook and on my Twitter, I did a little Christopher Reeve Foundation thing. So that's my charity that I support. I have a recurring donation. It's just you can put whatever amount you want. It just comes right from your credit card or bank account or whatever. And I figure Christopher Reeve has inspired like me so much, and Superman has. And I thought, you know what? I kept buying these dog tags. I freaking have like a shitload of them. I kept buying these, and I thought if I'm gonna buy these, I may as well just do a recurring donation, not even bother getting these because like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So now it goes right to the foundation, and that's really the only foundation. My wife does, I think, Sick Kids and World Vision, and
Oh yeah.
she does like 3 different ones. It's all she likes children, right? So it's all children related. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing Superman, and I'm doing it because it's Superman. Let's face the facts. Obviously, I want spinal cord, I want spinal research to develop too, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's Christopher Reeve, so
I just want to say one
yeah.
other thing too. If you could track them down, you should get these BBC radio
Oh
shows.
shit, they're so good.
BBC made 3 Superman radio series in the late 80s, early 90s, and one was Trial of Superman, which was 45 minutes. You could probably find this stuff on YouTube too, but you can find the CDs as well. They made a 6-part Man of Steel thing, and that is awesome. These are great. They're well produced. They don't have British accents, don't worry. But yeah, no, in that one, like he fights Metallo at the end. Like it's the whole thing is Man of Steel. And it's great. Great sound effects. It's like you're listening to a movie. And they did this Superman Lives thing, which is the complete
awesome.
He dies. It's funeral for a friend. It's Reign of the Superman. Superman comes back and fights Mongol, all in this 3-hour extravaganza. It's great. If you could track down the CDs, that's cool. I'm pretty sure they're on YouTube as well.
For sure.
But yeah, and people forget that BBC did a whole bunch of they did Batman as well. They did Nightfall.
Nightfall is freaking awesome.
Yeah. They did another one. That Nightfall thing was about 3 hours too. They did another Batman one too. So yeah, those are Lazarus Affair or something like that. But yeah, BBC did some great stuff as well. These characters are so old. Like Superman is so old and was so popular for decades that there's a whole bunch of great Superman media. If you like, there's the Power Records from the 70s. Oh, yeah. They're great. And
Power Records, man, like that was some cool shit.
Yeah, I would say the only thing about that was it showed people's attitude around Superman in that, Batman, because of the Adam West series, popularized Batman's rogues gallery. Superman never had media that did that. I mean, the radio show didn't do that. The Fleischer cartoon didn't do that. The 50s show didn't do that. The 60s show, they just started, like they had one episode with Brainiac, and they had like a Mixie's Pit episode too, and they had a terrible episode with Parasite that doesn't look anything like Parasite. Is a guy with a mustache, but so when they did the Power Records, I guess the people that made them felt there aren't any rogues to do, so they did like random mad scientists and stuff, and like maybe Lex Luthor. That's kind of sad, but they're still fun to listen to.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, they're really neat. And like while we were talking, I literally have a box here of storage. I was like, oh yeah, I've got this Superman thing in here, which is like Superman's Guide to Life, and like literally, like it's got like
That's cool.
sayings in
Superman
here,
no more. Yeah,
right? Like stay in shape, you know, like. And then you got this, and there's all these magnets in here of famous covers. It's all these like they're all like look how many magnets you get.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh my god, everybody knows this one, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is so crazy. It's like there's Superman. There's so much Superman shit in my house that like you can't go anywhere without there being some Superman something around somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is random. This is like literally in a box here, with and it's in a box with Brave and the Bold figures.
Yeah. Cool.
This is the Batman the Bold animated series figures. Booyah! Those are awesome. Yeah. So what else? I mean, there'd be so much stuff to show. It'd just be impossible.
I know. I couldn't pack everything to show. I was like, what the hell are we going to show? Everything, you know. But yeah.
You have. Oh, he has every treasure. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they did. There's a novelization of the third one. Yeah, Paperback Elliot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like Marvel Power Records. Yeah, those are. Yeah, that's that. Those are awesome. I still have. They're in this closet. The Indiana Jones. I got Raiders and Temple of Doom with the cassettes. The cassette read-along ones. You'll know it is time to turn the page when you hear the bullwhip crack like this.
Crack, yeah.
And it's like dun, 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 and you turn the. It was so cool.
They still do those for Star Wars only. They'll do them.
Oh, really?
Else. Yeah, I guess just for a commemorative thing. They do them for the new movie. They I don't think they did a Rise of Skywalker one, but they did the other two.
Do we have?
I heard about it, but I've never heard it. I'm sure is that a BBC thing as well? Because
I like audio.
Guys that do this, so yeah.
Yeah, I like audio adventures. I listen to the Big Finish stuff, especially the Doctor Who ones. Not all. I there's so many. I'm literally just doing. I do like maybe one a month, and I'm just going through the classic Doctor Who folks right now. But Cicero, they're bringing out Cicero, and I really liked Cicero. They even did The Prisoner. I picked up one of the BBC Avengers, like Emma and John, right? Emma and John.
Yeah.
And the people that they got for Emma and John are pretty good. I like audio Avengers. My wife can't get into it, but for me, you put them on they're really nice on the phone, and my phone is a kick-ass iPhone, right? So like the quality is like crazy.
Audio adventure, like I loved old time radio, and when I found out that they do new stuff like that, Superman Lives, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. You can listen to it and fall asleep, or just I used to listen to. There's a show here called Theater of the Mind on Chum FM, I think, or CHFI or something like that. That's where I listened to the Superman radio show, and that's where I realized there are literally over 1,000 episodes. It's crazy,
I've been doing Green Hornet.
Oh yeah, the origin in the radio show is terrible. It's like it's he comes to Earth fully formed in his costume done. He just steps right off the ship.
Hey, listen, we need to get going on this, right? Like, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, Batman '89. Just as a segue for real quick, when I sat down and Batman was Batman immediately, I'm like, oh, thank God, this is perfect. I'm like, because Batman. This is before Batman Begins, but I think after Batman Begins, we literally never need another origin of Batman ever. That explained everything better than anyone is ever going to explain it. I don't ever want to see another Batman origin. Superman updating it, they could have updated it better, in my opinion, right? But like,
Mhm.
I guess he was maybe in need of an update because would you say Christopher? I guess that's really like pre-crisis, still kind of super. Like,
Well,
what was the
Christopher Reeve is pre-crisis, of course.
what
Yeah.
would be the first? Would that be Lois and Clark? Would that have been the first post-crisis live-action Superman?
Oh, live action. Yes, the first post-crisis screen thing is the Ruby Spears cartoon.
Yes. Yeah,
But
but not, but
but
not,
but
but
um
live
but Lois and
action.
Clark is the first, yeah, and I think he's a corporate villain. Like Luther's,
Luther's a
that's the
corporate guy
biggest
there.
thing.
Yeah.
Luther's a corporate villain in that. Now John Byrne's Superman, both kids
Ask us
are
a
still
question.
alive, right? Um,
I
Mom,
like. Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
And,
I know
and
you got.
that's in a Dean Cain one. As a kid, I was a cynical teenager, and I didn't like Dean Cain as Superman. I felt he was Superboy. He had a high pitched voice and all that. But now I look back, and those are great shows.
Yeah, and I like
I
the
was
Sixth Sense being
disappointed
alive.
as well that they were continuing the trend of not using comic book villains. I know Howie Mandel played a version of Mixie's Pitlick, but where's Brainiac? Where's everyone?
Right.
And of course, you need an actor who has hair playing Lex Luthor. I know later on he's bald,
He
but it's like
loses it. Yeah.
they fell into the same traps. I know that they're Kryptonian villains, and at the end of season 3 into season 4, I think it was. That's cool, but I mean, I wanted more villains. I wanted more comic book villains.
So what about Superboy? Do you think that was post-crisis, or do you still think that was
pre-crisis? That was it. They made it after crisis.
After crisis, but
the
it's
thing is, there is no
pre-crisis.
Superboy in post-crisis. So but
Oh,
they still
right.
made, yeah, but like the Salkinds had rights to make Superboy. It's the same thing as Supergirl. They made that right when she was dying in the comics. So
Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then you're like, well, let's go read Supergirl comics. There are none. It's like,
There are none. Well, that's that argument I had about the Superboy comics, because they made them to tie into the show, but the show was so accurate to the comics that it just looked like Superboy comics. Like, there's Lana, there's Bizarro.
Yeah, ask a question. Hot takes. Let us. So I was on Hot Takes.
Yeah.
Thing last night, and oh my god, my phone exploded.
I guess they really were hot takes. Yeah,
they were hot takes because look, we didn't beat up the Snyder people. Come on, everyone knows.
I was all over that comment. I was all over the.
Yes, I know, Sean. I
was like, oh my god, all of these are mine. I should.
You're all the comments last night. And look, and everyone, and the people that are coming on here, they know that I'm not a fan. They know it. But look, it's hard to listen. I bought everything. I got the black.
I've seen that movie more times than you and Steve combined. I've seen it plenty of times. I've tried to force myself to like it, and it's not the character.
Yeah, it's
but
like
it's got a lot of punchy in it. So
it's got lots of fighting, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to see some good fights, then that's what you gotta. That's how it goes, man. It's got the action. But yeah, I mean, like, I think like Superman versus the Elite would be like the perfect next thing. Did you watch Krypton? What about Superman things without Superman, like a Smallville or a Krypton?
Yeah.
That was kind of like
that whole thing, because now there's like Pennywise and freaking Gotham and Gotham PD. Smallville, yeah. I had no patience for something that it's not super, like, Superman's not in the Superman show. But the thing is, he teams up with so many villains, like he encounters so many villains and teams up with so many heroes that it's like, I remember that one episode where they had the Justice Society, or
I know, and they had Stargirl and Dr.
was in it, Stargirl, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? Who hit their head on this show? Like, why are we getting costumes? That was cool. I honestly, the fact that it ran 10 years, I think you can't help but respect it for that. It is to a generation, that Superman, that was the fear, and now it's the reality. They made tie-in comics and all that stuff. So I mean, we have to, yeah. I'll get it eventually. It's a Superman series But I mean, I don't know why they adhere to this no tights, no flights thing. It's like that was a selling point. Like, what the hell? And
Right.
those
That
guys were
pissed
not fans because
fans, man.
I remember you and I taking
Yes.
a paper about like they hired what's her face that played Lana Lang in Superman 3, and not knowing that she even did that.
Right.
How do you not know anything about? I know no one likes Superman 3, but we do. But like,
Yeah.
but
well,
it's
yeah.
like, but you don't know who the actors were in that thing. Like how are you a fan? You know,
Yep.
like, and you're making a Smallville show. Like, come on, you know.
Yeah, that's brutal. And it's like, seriously, they cast it's Annette O'Toole, and I remember I was like, let me just check to make sure I'm right, because I know it's Annette O'Toole. But like, you're making a show about Superman in Smallville.
Yeah.
And I know you guys can't read comics, so that's fine. But you're making a show about Superman in Smallville, and you decide to not watch the one movie that has a lot of parts in Smallville
movie, yeah.
In the movie, and you're casting the person from that, and you don't know. And I'm like, firstly, erase all of this. Firstly, how did you not see Superman 3? Period.
Yeah.
Secondly, how did you not see Superman 3 if you're making a Superman a show? You know,
Yeah.
Third, how did you not see Superman 3 if you're making a Superman show and you didn't watch the one that's in Smallville and your show's about Smallville?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you got Bo Duke, and Bo Duke's the best. Everybody knows that. But like, that's facts, right? Bo and Luke Duke are the best. But like, seriously, like, this is a bunch of bullshit. So that pissed me right off, to be honest. It pissed me off. And they said, there's not going to be Superman. I'm like, let me know when Superman shows up. Then I'll watch it. I own the whole thing. I have the entire thing right there.
The prevailing trend with Superman is that anyone making a TV show or movie about Superman tends to be embarrassed by the character. So they reinterpret it, or the character just isn't even in the thing, or some stupid thing. It's like, make a Superman thing. Why not try that? Oh, we're not having success with Superman Returns in this latest incarnation. It's like, oh, well, you keep reinterpreting. Why not have the character from the comics in the freaking movie? How about that? It's like, when I read the comics, I want to recognize that character on screen. When I look at Captain America in the comics, current and past, I recognize that character in Chris Evans' portrayal. The way he portrays him and the way he's written. It's like, that is, I mean, look, it's the MCU version, but it's Captain America. I want to see Superman on the screen. The Superman that's like been published like 2 weeks ago in freaking Action Comics. It's still going. People forget, like, you know, this has been going on since like 1938, 39. It's like,
these are been
continuously published for decades and decades, and still carries on today. And it's the same character, and he has a personality, and he has a lore. Why not put all that in the movie? What's the problem? It's like, no, he's got to have angst, and no, he's got to find himself when he's 33, and no, he's got to be a stalker, and like, you know, and he's got. I know we're going down a dark path.
No, careful here.
Back to, like, listen, you know, hopefully there'll always be a Superman. As I said before,
Sean, I feel the fight. What is it? I feel the struggle inside you. Let go of your hate.
Yeah, it's the past. Where, well, listen, I, as I said before, like, Superman is the comics to me now. I'm done agonizing over these decisions. It's like,
me too.
Just do what you want to do. Obviously, there's a problem here. Superman is the comics, done. You know, until you make something great that I pay attention to, I can't agonize over these announcements and these decisions anymore. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me that, because he's such a mainstream character, just do what has been done in the past 80 years on the screen. What's the problem with that? You know, so
I mean, for me, I like the comics. I've always read them, and that's comics to me. It is what it is. Okay, so let's go through a couple of these. Hey, J-Man. Hey, Double C, what's going on? I like Krypton. Yeah, okay, so you know what, man? This might be a hot take, but I kind of liked Krypton. I know they did some wonky stuff, but I don't know. For some reason, I don't know if it's the actors or whatever.
Yeah.
Brainiac looked really cool. Really cool to me.
Yeah.
And I found myself not as upset over the things that they were doing, because it wasn't directly involving Superman or even Jor-El, really, right? It's like, so I feel like if you're further away from it, I'm like, it's different when you're saying this is Clark Kent and then he's not Superman for 10 years of Smallville. That's different than saying, okay, this is not Clark Kent, this is not Jor-El, this is way before. Then I'm like, well, do whatever you want because it doesn't matter to me, right? So I can just watch it and be like, that, I thought it was an entertaining show. I wasn't like losing my mind over it, but I'm like, this was okay.
Yeah, one thing people forget is Legion of Superheroes as well, because they called Superboy Superman in that show because that's what they know him as. So it's a Superman cartoon. It's like 2 seasons. I enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of people forget about it when they announced this new My Adventures with Superman or whatever cartoon. A lot of these mainstream sites, like even Variety and stuff, were like, "Oh, the last time he was in a cartoon was Justice League or something like that." It's like, well, no, it was Legion of Superheroes, but like I guess everyone's forgotten that thing even existed. It's a good show. I liked it. I like the one where he fights Karate Kid and Karate Kid wins, and he's trying to learn how to actually fight because he's invulnerable and he doesn't know technique, right?
Right.
I thought that was cool. That was great. I always say this. I'll say this again. The Superman animated series is great. Probably the best portrayal on screen. They depower him a little bit to make it work, but he's still invulnerable and strong and everything like that. But he can't like hear something from like the other side of the world, some stupid thing like that.
Right.
The story arc in that was 3 seasons. It carried on into like they canceled it prematurely, and it carried on into Justice League for those 2 seasons and Justice League Unlimited season 1. So Superman seasons 1 to 3, Justice League seasons 1 and 2, and Justice League Unlimited season 1 to me is one big Superman story arc because
you're right.
They ended season 3 with the world distrusts Superman because he was working with Darkseid. He was brainwashed, and he comes back. So he has a vendetta to settle with Darkseid, and he has to regain trust with the humans. And he does that throughout Justice League. And there's a whole showdown with Darkseid. So it's pretty much a Superman show. And then Justice League Unlimited calls back to an episode in Superman the Animated Series where Brainiac implants his essence into Luthor, and Luthor becomes a Brainiac Luthor in Justice League Unlimited, and Cadmus is involved, and Dr. Hamilton betrays Superman. So that all ties back to the Superman cartoon series. So that whole big thing is one epic Superman story arc to me. And I Superman is a great character in those as well. So
I'm trying to think because I'm looking at how I divided my shelves.
Yeah,
and I pretty much included those in my Superman shelf. Superman is these 2 shelves, and then
I was going to it. I was running out of space in my shelf. I was going to include Super Friends in my Superman shelf, but that
I did as well.
Is like this. It's like
Well, it's not the Super Friends. I don't know if you could see from here. The Super Friends goes up to the top of Supergirl's head.
Yeah,
not Super Friends. And then there's some Wonder Woman in there as well.
Yeah,
and I threw Green Lantern in there just because I have nowhere else to put him.
Yeah.
He's not a Superman guy. Okay, so hot takes. That was great on your show last night. Really interesting comments. Race spending. I don't like it.
My issue with it is you're framing the story that way. I mean, I've read I've read Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I'm halfway through The Water Dancer. I mean, is that what's called? Yeah.
I have no idea.
And you know what? I'm blanking on the freaking book. The one where it's letters to his son. I read that whole thing. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of that. He's very political, and like I'm reading the Captain America run right now. He's political. I don't know if he has. To me, when I think of Superman, I think of something different than what's been portrayed in the movies. I think of high adventure, a lot of sci-fi elements, a lot of imagination and stuff, and I don't think he's going to bring those things.
Hell no.
From what little we know of it, it sounds like a racial parable, because it sounds like they're setting it in the 20th century, so I guess that's the civil rights movement. I guess that's code for that. And I just want the world of Superman. If they did a black Superman and it's still and still, like, I know they're not going to do Val-Zod and stuff. I don't know why everyone thought that, because the thing is, like, Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers and them, they don't know what the hell that is. Why the hell did you think? And like, there's shareholders who like govern the financial well-being of the company don't know what the hell a Val-Zod is or what a Calvin L. Why would you think that? Walter Hamada goes in front of his shareholders and says, like, we're doing a black Superman, and it's like, it's going to be Val-Zod, it's going to be a different origin, and it's going to be a different, and one of the shareholders would be like, is Daily Planet? And it's like, no, it's Val-Zod. Is there a black Lois Lane? Does he grow up in Smallville? Does he have a mom and pop It's like, it's Val-Zod. It's a Val-Zod Superman. It's like, okay, but so it's not Superman? No, it's Superman. It's a Val-Zod Superman. Okay, so is Metropolis in it? Is he a reporter for the Daily Planet? It's like, no, it's Val-Zod Superman. So it's not Superman, right? No, it's a Val-Zod Superman. Like, can you see the problem? Like, they're not going to do that. It's going to be a black Superman who's Clark Kent, black Superman, and exploring American blackness. Like, I understand what they're going to do. To me, if they did just a straight up Superman that's black and still fighting Brainiac and stuff, I'd like that. But like, I want Superman fighting Brainiac and Mongol and like stuff we haven't seen. I want to see
this is tiresome now. Let's redo the origin again.
If you feel like you have to race bend it, then I still want the Superman story, but I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get just some sort of parable about like race in America with a black Superman, and they're gonna tell that story, and that's wonderful. Have at it, but I want Superman. You can make him black, but I still want him to fight like freaking guys from the comics that we haven't even seen. Like,
they're not going to. That's for sure not happening because they haven't done it anyways. So that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
2021 with all the special effects we have. We haven't seen a Superman fight Brainiac on the big screen. Why?
Yeah.
How is that not a thing?
Yeah, we're that's not going to happen. They're literally doing it just to be on trend or whatever. They don't give a crap about Superman. They don't care about science fiction and fantasy and flying around and fighting guys and saving the day and all that. It's just going to be a bunch of garbage that it always is. Are you reading ahead in the comments? Are you getting ahead of me? Like, you're getting ahead of me. I can see.
Because I ranted and I wasn't looking at the comments, man.
Okay, so you got to catch up. Hey, True, thanks for popping by. Okay. So we don't want to go too negative. We're trying to. This is positive Superman stuff. So hot takes. We talked about. We beat
the crap out of that.
We beat up poor. Listen, we beat up poor MOS too much. I don't want to beat it up anymore. I'll tell you my favorite parts of it. I like all the fighting. That's really cool. What else do I like? Some of the music was pretty good in Man of Steel. There's some all right music. It didn't have the Superman theme, but. I kind of liked the way the Kryptonians like looked and like their technology. I thought was like pretty cool.
What Man of Steel?
In Man of Steel, like I thought they looked pretty. I didn't like the look of Krypton that much, but I liked like the armor. Like Zod looked cool to me, and Feora was the damn best for me.
I think the look of Krypton would have been great without a bunch of filters over it.
But,
it looked like the world of Sectars. Like, I know.
Oh my God, you're right.
Know what that is, but it looks like because he's riding a freaking giant Sectar. But the special effects are great. There are some interesting things in it that I won't get into here, but there are some but yeah, if you're saying what's good about it, yes.
Yes.
And there are some moments in there that are Superman, but then there are moments that contradict those moments, and I don't understand what they're trying to say. So
okay. So he so Claudia's a huge Legion fan. He's a super.
Yeah, I know. I heard the stream for that.
You heard the stream for that. They looked.
Well, they did to Julie. I like that they did it though, because it's my thing with Superboy. It's like Superboy in that live action show looks like Superman. It's like just like grown men playing Superboy, and it's like, why don't you just call him Superman?
Just call him Superman at that point. Jake Seymour Clark lets his dad die. No, I didn't like that.
No.
Hank Extremes are bad. I think they did.
Yeah.
Red Sun type Black Superman elsewhere, that'd be cool, but honestly, Martian Manhunter would have been the best way to go with this story. I mean, they're not using any of these characters. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it is going to be political Superman.
I reread the old Icon comics, and they're still great to me. Icon was the Milestone Superman. He's awesome. He's closest to Superman that all the other Urzat Supermans are. He's great. Why can't they do that? I was reading the first 5 issues. I'm like, this is a movie. Like,
do you think so? Milestone just got rebooted, just like last week. It came out digital first about a month ago. So I read that. Icon seems very cool. There's going to be Hardware, Static Shock, Icon, and Rocket. Is Rocket the
Icon? So that's Rocket. Yeah, Rocket's his
girlfriend or sidekick.
No, sidekick. Yeah,
sidekick. Okay,
I
don't know. I never read Icon.
Yeah, you never read Milestone comics.
No,
I read the my quick take on issue 0 is I hate issue 0s, but but when I read the old comics again, all it did was make me want to read the old comics. So when I did, I realized that they established the characters and their personalities really quickly, like in a few pages. And in the issue 0, they don't. It's like Icon's is preachy, like freaking. He's talking to a bunch of world leaders, like you all suck, and like I'm awesome.
Yeah,
and he's not like that in the old comics. In the old comics, he's gone through the Civil War and everything. He's 200 years old, and he went through slavery and everything like that. And so to him, he's like he's supposed to represent the old timer that's like, why can't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that stuff, right? And speaks properly, and everyone makes fun of him for that, and they call him ITOM and all that. And that's not that Icon. None of those characters are the same. And the whole I know you had a problem with the BLM thing.
Yes.
But my problem with it is I'm okay with that because they always went political in those comics.
No, but no.
And they ripped something from well, hold on. Okay. My problem with it was they're mimicking the Big Bang from the old comics, and it doesn't. They're transplanting it, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't get why the characters in the Blood Syndicate would be at a BLM rally. It doesn't, like the old one was the Big Bang. Well, it was like 5 gangs that got together and they're about to like have it out.
Right. So everyone there,
and the cops shoot tear gas, but it's not tear gas. It's experimental gas into the crowd, kills like a good 200, 300 kids, and those who survive get powers. But why? But if you're doing Blood Syndicate and everything, why would it be a BLM rally? And it doesn't like remake the thing to suit the characters. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And the reason why it was a gangbang too is back then, like gangs were a big thing, and it was popular in culture, and Juice and all that, and Boys in the Hood and all that stuff. So that's why that was done back then. But anyways,
well. Yeah, okay. So the real movie of that is Menace to Society. That's the hardcore version, not that bullshit Boys in the Hood, which is like a kid's show compared to Menace to Society. Anyways, we're not getting into the black movies, which I love. So we're not going to get into all that. But okay. But no, Milestone. I'll tell you my problem with the BLM in this, because why are you putting actual real world things? Like, if you want to have a protest, then have it. Like, I don't want the actual real thing in there. Because I'm opening up this comic.
You don't want to name it, is what you're saying,
right?
Okay,
right. It's like hold on. The way they used to do these things is that if you're referencing real life, it's not literally, hey, you just saw this on the news, here it is in this comic. It's like, just have a protest, and then something goes wrong. Not a BLM protest, because then I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to escape the world that I'm living in and read a comic book, and if you want to have parallels, or you want to reference things, then reference them, but reference them in a smarter way than just saying, hey, this happened at this time, because 30 years from now.
That is Milestone Comics, but the problem is they do it very clumsily. Like the old Milestone Comics did that all the time. It's like they didn't have BLM back then, but like they took from the headlines and took real world stuff and put it into the comics.
Oh well, that's their thing.
That's the thing, right? It's like it's like a gang. Like they didn't say Bloods and Crips back then, right?
Right.
So that's yeah. To your point, right? They
Right,
could have
exactly.
been protesting police brutality just in general.
Right, just
like
just
an
have a
incident
protest.
happens, and yeah, but they name it BL. No, I see your point there.
Right, because then it's just like, oh, okay, like yeah, just have a protest,
honestly,
a normal protest that happens in real life.
That issue 0 just made me want to read the old Icon. And when I read Icon, I was like, I fell in love with it all over again. I was like, oh my god, do this! What the hell? Well, what the?
So
what
do
are
you think?
doing?
I think it's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful to give hand-me-downs and sloppy seconds.
I super agree with that.
Like
it's so bad.
Yeah, this isn't like Nick Fury. Like 99% of the planet didn't know what Nick Fury was until MCU, so they race swapped him and whatever. Everyone's used to it. Superman is not Nick Fury. Superman is the American century. So if you're doing something like this, you need to really back it up with quality, and you really need to back it up with some intelligence. And I don't trust Warner Brothers to do that. Are you kidding me? It's like,
oh no, I don't trust them at all for that. Yeah. I agree with hot takes. We did beat it up. Let's go through some of these. Static Shock. Yeah, Sean's a super fan of that. Would have looked like they did in the Justice League Unlimited. Oh, okay, yeah. I never watched this cartoon, but I own this cartoon, Sean, that we're talking about?
It's out on Blu-ray recently.
So I must own it then, because did I tell you about it?
You told me it was I told you about it, and then you told me there's a Blu-ray, and I didn't know. I was like, geez.
So
like,
I must own it then, because I wouldn't have told you there's a Blu-ray if I was
liked it. I think it's underrated. I liked it.
Hot takes. I think Icon would be a waste for universe reasons. Too much rip off Superman. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get, but at least if you want to do that, hey Bell, thanks for coming back. We're ending in like a few minutes because I gotta go. I've got a lot to do tomorrow. Heavy lifting stuff because of our business. Superman story arc. We talked about a bunch of different arcs, Caleb. If you go back through, if anyone ever goes back through,
my favorite arc is not really an arc. It's just a bunch of collected stories from the 60s to the mid 80s. It's the Planet Lexor story. I like that when they went back to it in Future State, they did a take on it. But I like that whole thing. I like that Luthor gets a planet to rule. I like his hubris.
They had that in
Future State. Baiting Superman, and then he builds the suit that was the superpower suit. And then he attacks Metropolis with these robots, and then Superman flies to his planet. He builds these spires on the planet to power the planet, and then Superman uses eye lasers, and then it bounces off of the Lex suit onto one of the spires, blows up the planet, kills everyone that he held dear. He had a family there too. So then Lex Luthor is after Superman. That whole thing. I know no one cares about that story because I never hear anyone talk about it. I love the whole Lexor story arc.
So that's got to be on digital. Maybe I'll have to look. Maybe I'll look.
It's a whole bunch of it's a whole bunch of different issues. I love it.
Yeah, it's not easily. I think a lot of people like to look at for like they want that graphic novel. They want that like.
I know. Everyone wants a graphic novel.
And everyone wants that graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to have like a whole bunch of like random single issues or whatever, but I mean, yeah. So okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, gosh, if anyone on here wants to go back through this, you should, because we got a lot of pictures of me and Sean as little kids. Everything
about Superman. If you go through this entire stream,
yeah, go through this entire 2 hours and 22 minutes, and you will hopefully take away a bunch of stuff. From Superman and all the stuff that we talked about, and you'll see childhood pictures of me and Sean with Superman stuff, just to prove that we're not posers.
Lifelong Superman.
yeah, this is not a poser shirt. I have a tattoo. I have a Superman tattoo.
There you go.
Yeah, and the wrist is quite painful. You didn't think it'd be that painful, but it was actually pretty painful.
Why wouldn't it be? It's all your veins are in there, man.
Yeah, well, it was just it wasn't too bad. I don't have any others. I'm doing Wonder Woman up here. I'm just trying to find a good picture and waiting for the tattoo shops to open. I got Batman, of course, so I have the Trinity.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I don't know what's going on for Sunday. I've actually we may start streaming later. Then I'll let you know, Sean. A friend of ours, who lives in a different continent is going to be calling us, and there's been there's been some stuff going on there, so like some crazy stuff he's telling me that's been going on because he's in the hot spots. So anyway, so I'm going to be talking to him. So I don't think that will go long. That'll go too long. So maybe around 7:30 we'll start.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that'll be that. All right, guys. Well, this is crazy. This has been the longest one, but that's okay because it's Superman. It deserves to be the longest one.
Yeah.
And all right, guys. We're gonna end it off there. Thank you so much for watching, and be seeing you.